Look at this stupid asshole. That cunt right there. That one. Hello? What the fuck? What the? Why is it not? There we go. It's been a while since I... Wasn't there supposed to be sound here? Why the fuck is that shit coming up on the top? Fucking hate emulators, dude. I gotta use this shitty PC emulator because... the fucking... GBA Wii emulator doesn't actually, like, work with this game very well. It's been a while since I have taken a vacation. I am driving my Jeep. Trademark. Heading towards the quiet resort town of Soylent Hill. The sound of the engine. Also, hi Borzol and Mateos. Reverberates in the darkness. Due to some slight car trouble earlier, it has become this late. I think your emulator may have been not rendering everything properly, like, you know, when certain characters were just, like, vanishing. As soon as you see them, they just disappear. I'm hoping that's gonna be correct here. There we go. I'm Harry Mason. I'm a run-of-the-mill writer. Her eyes closed, Cheryl sleeps peacefully in the passenger seat. Cheryl is my daughter. She's cheerful and lively, and the occasional carefree smiles she shows make me feel happy. I don't have very many relationships with people because of what I do for a living, so Cheryl's existence has become irreplaceable to me. Cheryl was very much looking forward to this trip. Oh yeah, by the way, about the boy chapter, there was like a downloadable content for this game back then, which was like 4 chapters detailing the story of Harry's and Cheryl's neighbor kid. But it's considered to be lost media because no one has it. I guess it was like impossible to like rip it or something. I don't know. I don't even know how that works. Like, does it write itself into the cartridge, or how would you even have like downloadable content on a GBA? I have no idea how that works. I wonder if like one day someone will actually find it. Although paved, this is still very much a mountain road. At this hour, there is little reason for any other drivers to be about. I push in the accelerator. No, the accelerator! There's no light off in the darkness. I can depend only on my headlights. Light. Is like the volume fine, by the way? Where's my mouse? What the My keyboard stopped working. Very good. This is going great. Oh my god. Oh great. My mouse stopped working as well. Hold on. Okay, they're working now. For fuck's sake. Okay. Yeah, but how the fuck does that even work? Does it like write itself onto the what? I forgot what I was gonna do. I was gonna do something. Oh yeah, I just wanted to check the volume. Right. Okay. Yeah. No, that seems actually kind of loud. But is it too loud? Should I turn it down a bit? The engine sound. Light reflects off the rear view mirror. It's a motorcycle. There's a motorcycle headed toward the same destination as we are, at a terrific speed at this late hour. With a roar, the motorcycle effortlessly passes by the side of my Jeep, trademark. The seal of the police. Perhaps there has been an accident or something. But I don't recall hearing about an accident or anything on the radio. What's going on with that radio? Cheryl's asleep. A child should not be awake at this hour. I wonder if she is dreaming about something. Tomorrow I have planned to take her to the amusement park. Maybe she is dreaming about riding the merry-go-round? I glance over at Cheryl's sleeping face, then return my eyes toward the lighted area of the road. Almost appears to be belched out from the darkness as it moves towards me, huh? Something enters my field of view. It's the motorcycle from just before that was passing my Jeep trademark. It is lying on its side, on the shoulder of the road, no doubt about it. It's the same motorcycle that just, no doubt about it, flathead V8, no doubt about it. Past me. But like, would they have had extra storage on the fucking GBA cartridge just so you can download it? That's so weird. Like, they would have like extra flash storage and then it would have to like burn the flash chips or like EPROMs or whatever. So, I don't know, it's fucking weird. Hey Jill. Some kind of obstacle, and thus that part of the motorcycle had been destroyed. I carefully check the way in which my vehicle is headed. However, I don't see anything that could be an obstacle to my advance. In the area illuminated by the headlights, a strange atmosphere creeps around me. The radio reception begins to become erratic. Perhaps I should turn back? My foot persistently pushes down the accelerator with no intention of letting off. You can no longer turn back now. Something murmurs within me. Please increase your speed some more. Someone murmurs within me. Cheryl's eyes are closed. She's dreaming. I know that I should be awake. But what is this uneasy feeling? I feel as if my body is not totally my own. It's like some strange being that is not me is controlling me. Like I'm floating in mid-air. My eyelids are heavy as the steering wheel leaves my hand. It creates the illusion of setting the course on its own. Freezing cold. Uneasiness. Almost like being ready to fall asleep. I'm just barely conscious, and now at my limit to maintain even that. Ugh! When I saw a human figure on the road, I cut the wheel hard, and then there was nowhere else for my Jeep trademark, and I to go but down into the darkness below the cliff. Vito! The silence pierces my ears. As the wind blew, it was accompanied by piercing cold. Where am I? I can feel light faintly passing through my eyelids. I don't seem to be hurt. That much is clear to me, because I don't feel any pain in my body. But it is also possible that my backbone has broken. No, perhaps I've suffered an injury that doesn't cause any pain? I slowly try opening my heavy eyelids. Out of season, ash is pouring into the town. Other than the sound of droplets of coal hitting the ground, there's nothing else to be heard. Soylent Hill, that is what is assuredly written on the sign by the side of the road. Without realizing it, Cheryl and I have reached our destination. All my memories up to that point are gone. The wind is blowing in. When I take a look next to me, I am shocked. My sister is missing. So I need to go into the scary castle to find her. Soylent Hill brings the nightmare of mansion crawling back to town. This town, which should just be a resort area, appears to have become just like a ghost town. Kinda like a ghost town. All the clubs have been closed down, waiting for us to arrive, or perhaps the town just nestled up to us. So now I am alone. Cheryl is not here. While I was sleeping, no, while I was knocked out, because I cannot, for legal reasons, say that I was sleeping. Cheryl had opened the passenger door and stepped out alone into the tourist spot that is ruled by an unsettling silence. And then she left me to head somewhere. I tightly closed my jacket around my neck, just to try to suffocate myself, and set off on foot in search of Cheryl. I wonder what in the world happened here. Nothing makes any sense. The silence, the out-of-season snow, and the strangest of all, the silence, the out-of-season ash, and strangest of all, the entire town is wrapped in thick smog. A, Cheryl's destination is. B, there's no one in the town. What? I guess it's just like what we're saying, like it doesn't really matter. Is there no one in the town? I thought I must find out if there's anyone than myself here. This is definitely Soylent Hill. I recognize the signboard on that store. A long time ago, when I was young, I visited here once. All the doors on the shops and houses are tightly shut. No, among them, there is one shop with its door open, but there's no sign of anyone inside. It feels like just the people here suddenly vanished. I begin to run. Only the sounds of my footsteps echo in the surroundings. Those big, clonking fucking sounds with my wooden shoes. Just where in the world has Cheryl gone? Did someone lead her away? Various concerns run through my mind. Oh my god, wait. Ta. Onomatopoeia for footsteps. I suddenly get the feeling that I heard footsteps other than my own, so I stop moving away to check it out. Through the thick smog, I can see a figure that is about the size of a child. That is about the size of a normal normal human child. Cheryl? Without a thought, I cry out. The figure doesn't move at all. At the moment, I begin to move slowly towards the figure. It starts to run. I fiercely chase after the figure. That's definitely Cheryl. Even though it is faint, I would not mistake someone else for Cheryl. However, no matter how much I run, I cannot catch up. Instead, the figure is gradually getting farther away from me. The figure puts on speed as if it is gliding through the air. It's like it's walking on thin air. The figure appears to be absorbed by the fog as it begins to disappear. In order to not lose it, I run with all my strength while keeping my vision centered on the figure. I then notice that I have come to an alley surrounded by buildings. I don't know how, but it is like a cover was placed over the sky, which had provided light until now, and the area has become engulfed in darkness. From the darkness I can hear multiple footsteps coming this way. I don't know who it is. I will take a look. I'm going to get out of here. I don't have anything with me that can be used as a weapon. So we can just like back out of the whole fucking alleyway situation right at the start. Let's go! We gotta do this. We gotta get the... Should I get the fuck out of here, or should I just keep on going? I don't know, it's tempting to fuck off. I don't know. I guess... For now I'll go with the story, I guess. But, I mean, we're right at the start, so I guess I could try this, right? I'm going to get out of here. I don't have anything with me that can be used as a weapon. I've got to get away, but I can't go back the way I came because that eerie presence is back there. So I move forward. Oh, for fuck's sake! If I move further in, I can only move gradually through the narrowing pitch-black alley by feeling around with my hands. But I only end up reaching a dead end. Metal fences surround the area, and they are so high that I don't think I can climb over them. They are coming from behind. I stood ready. I even kind of tried to, separate my butt cheeks. What are they? With beast-like rage, they have closed in to right where I am. Ah! And then my vitality is sucked away by those strangely shaped little children until I finally lose consciousness. Sybil Bennett. She is a full-time police officer working in the neighboring town of Brahms. There was no one else in the cafe other than her and Harry. She took a seat at the counter and waited for Harry to awaken. I suddenly awoke. Where's this place? Why am I here? Was I brought here by someone? There's no boundary between dream and reality, just confusion. As I lay on the bench seat in the cafe, my eyes slowly begin to focus. The woman sitting at the counter stands and folds her arms. She walks over and looks down at me. She's wearing a police uniform. The woman smiles a little bit as she appears to be relieved that I have regained consciousness. It looks like you have come around. Who are you? I try talking to the unfamiliar woman. I'm Sybil Baneach. I'm here because all the communication with this town suddenly went dead, and so I came to investigate. I'm Harry Mason. I'm in town on vacation. I brought my daughter to this town for some sightseeing, but on the way there was an accident and I lost consciousness. Oh yeah, Sybil, you haven't seen a little girl in this town, have you? A little girl? No, I haven't seen her. When I came to after the accident, my daughter was nowhere to be seen. The passenger door was open and she was gone. Cheryl, sorry, my daughter's name is Cheryl. She's a timid person, so it is hard to imagine that she headed out into this weird town alone. Plus, I was there in the driver's seat, and since she gave me no warning, it just doesn't make any sense. Are you familiar with this area? There's no sign of anyone, and what is going on with the ash at this time of year? Just what in the world has happened in this town? I said all of this while breathing deeply. I'm afraid I don't know either. I still haven't seen anyone other than you. It's like the town is as silent as a graveyard left, without even the means to contact any neighboring towns. I see. You also had an accident, right? I thought it was a good idea to head to the police station in this town alone on my motorcycle, but I guess I was going a little too fast. A girl suddenly jumped out into the road. I'm pretty sure it was a girl. I almost hit her, but I did not. I cut the handlebars hard in order to avoid her. After that, I can barely remember anything. When I came to, I was lying in the street in front of this cafe, so naturally I came in here to get out of the ash, and then I found you sleeping there. I was having some kind of terrible dream. As for if I made it here on my own, I don't remember at all. Just what in the world has happened in this town? What's going on with everything? Especially with that radio. Well, the situation is definitely strange. I will head back to Brahms for reinforcements and the return here. How about you? Sybil stood and fixed her collar with resolute fortitude. I've got to look for my Cheryl. There's no way I can just leave her here alone. I see. Well, I'll give you this then. You never know what might happen under these circumstances. If you feel threatened, then pull the trigger without hesitating. I take the gun into my hand. Thanks, I hope I don't have to use it. Thank you, but I'm no good with guns. Now we'll take the gun, of course. Having never handled a handgun before, I'm surprised by how heavy it is. But will you be alright? I'm not like the average girls around here. I've undergone proper training. Sybil placed her hand on the exit door, but then she turns around and faces me again. Harry, don't go shooting me by mistake or anything. I haven't had any training on how to stop bullets, she smiled after saying this, and then disappeared into the thick smog. After being left alone in the cafe, I gazed at the handgun Sybil gave me for a little while, and then I thought about it. I should probably just shoot myself instead of doing all this shit. Cheryl, who had disappeared in this town. The figure I saw on the smog. That was definitely Cheryl, but she didn't answer my calls, and she was quite possibly moving away from me. I don't understand. I'm getting a bit mixed up. Still, the one thing I know for sure is that Cheryl has vanished in this town. All I can do is look for her. I may not have any knowledge of the surroundings or any clues or anything ever, essentially, But I won't find Cheryl if I stay here, unless if she just suddenly comes in here. So I stood up energetically and placed my hand on the cafe door. Something's making noise. Nani? What's that noise? Okay, hold on. Let's make a safe state just in case. Okay. It's somewhere inside the cafe. I look around the cafe. I walk in the direction of the noise is coming from. And then I pick up the source of the noise. Radio. Huh. What's going on with that radio? Tatashin radio. At that moment, the window glass shattered with a thunder and the giant bird-like creature flew into the cafe. No, it's not a bird. It's a plane. It is a creature with a reddish-brown skin that looks as if it has been burned. In its belligerent, pale green eyes, it is clear that my life is in danger. Also my wife, too. I hide underneath the table, ready the handgun in my inexperienced hands, run out the cafe. Should I... fuck, I don't know. Should I hide? Can I take this asshole down? Maybe I'll hide. Maybe I'll hide and then it will go away. I immediately hid underneath the nearby table. However, it was smarter than I thought. At a glance, its legs appeared to be thin, but it spreads them wide and uses its long nails as a tool to lift the table up and then lets out a loud laugh. I don't have a choice. I have to try and fight, but I randomly fire blindly. But if I randomly fire blindly, then it will only waste bullets. That's it. I must set my aim. Its body, when it spreads its wings, at that moment, when its body is undefended, it swings its large arm-like wing down at me. Using that weapon, it just misses my neck. This is my chance. The target is its body. Mumbling, I tell myself that. However, I can't fix my aim very well. My hands are shaking. Literally shaking my hands. When that single bullet hit, it finally lost its life force and fell to the floor like a rag. What the hell? This is not a dream. What's happening to this place? No. That's not what he says. Doesn't he say like... He just says, this is not a dream. What's happening to this place? He doesn't say, what the hell? He wouldn't say that. Only the sound of my fist hitting the table echoes in the cafe. At my feet, the still warm corpse of the creature lies in the center of a pool of oddly colored liquid. After leaving the cafe, I decided to first head toward that alley from before. Black figures fly about in the heavens, as if searching for prey. I then come to realize the static on the radio changes based on their movements. The closer the monsters come to me, the louder the static begets. My sight is hindered by the smog, and on top of that, the weather is so bad that the ash is falling. The weather is so bad. Actually. So this is extremely important information. I run through the snow. I run through the ash that appears to have no intention of stopping. Increasing my speed each time the static comes in on the radio, I proceed into the smog. Following the thin thread of my memory, I finally arrive at the alley from before. The evil atmosphere has dissipated, and light pours in along with the ash from in between the buildings. I move into the alley, and it dead ends after a bit. At the end of the alley, I see a familiar sketchbook. What appears to have been thrown away. The likeness of me that Cheryl drew is on the cover of the sketchbook. This is definitely Cheryl's. Sketchbook opens. To school. I try opening it. Inside the following is written. To school. Along 11th Street, I slipped through the back door of a house that had a doghouse, and then head for the school. We're completely skipping the entire like key grabbing bullshit, but I mean I guess it wouldn't really make sense. You know what would be really cool? Like a point and click type of Silent Hill game. Could you imagine that? Like the same style as this, but like point and click, so you'd have to, you know, find the keys and stuff like that. That'd be kinda cool actually. With the darkness and only the flashlight on my chest illuminates the strange street. I pass through the entrance to the elementary school grounds. When I open the door that leads into the school building, I see that even more darkness is waiting for me inside. It's possible that Cheryl scribbled those letters to school. I can't be sure whether Cheryl is here or not. It's just that I haven't a clue other than that sketchbook. Yo, inept. No, you do get choices, and depending on which the game plays out. A guide map of the school has been tacked. You can even game over in this. A guide map of the school has been tacked to the side wall of the entrance with a rusted thumbtack. After removing the map from the wall, I place it in my pocket and push open the heavy door that leads into the interior of the school building. My footsteps of the big clonking fucking wooden shoes and the creaking of the hallway, they sound like screams as the reverberations rock my eardrums. I had been walking carefully step by step, but without realizing I had begun to run. There's no sign of anyone. The silent innards of the school building are dark, and with only the flashlight on my chest, it's impossible for me to see any of the details. Cheryl doesn't have a flashlight, so if she came in here and got lost, then she probably wouldn't even be able to walk around. Since I have my flashlight turned on, she should be able to notice me easily. At least I have that modest hope. I then notice that I have come to the entrance up to the music room. I place my hand on the heavy door. When I open the door, I see that the inside of the room is large and there is a grand piano placed in its center. As I sit on the chair of the piano, I'm shocked. The seat is still warm, as if someone had been sitting here just a few minutes before. Cheryl's smile runs through the back of my mind. Cheryl often played the cheap upright piano in our home. It had become a nice background music when I was working. Perhaps Cheryl had come to the music room. I gently open the cover over the piano keys. I notice that there is red mixed in among the black and white. I tried touching the liquid. It has a lukewarm feel to it. It is still holding heat. It is definitely blood. My heart pounds in my chest like an alarm bell. The large amount of blood spilled on the keys. If this is Cheryl's blood, then she may no longer be alive. And I wipe the stain off my hands onto my jeans, stand, and leave the music room. So we never even get the medallion thing. But yeah, this is technically a visual novel in a way, but it's like you have, you know, like choices and like branching paths and stuff like that. And you can like multiple scenarios. There's actually like a scenario that's lost to time because the game contains two scenarios. It contains Harry and Sybil, and there was a third one called like The Boy, which was a scenario about the neighbor of Cheryl and Harry, like a neighbor kid, but it was a downloadable content back in the day, and no, it hasn't surfaced yet, so it seems to be like it's lost media. At the time I closed the door, I thought I heard someone scream. Maybe it was just my imagination. I walked down the hallway. The sleety mixture of the ash pounds hard against the windows facing the courtyard. I take a look through the window down at the dark courtyard. The not-so-large courtyard is dotted with areas in which withered plants are growing. Well, it was like a... I don't know, it's not... Well, it is, yeah, it is DLC. But it probably wasn't called that, but it was just, yeah, like... I mean, I guess it was just called downloadable content. I don't know what it was called in Japanese, because it was only in Japan. I don't know how it worked, I don't know how you did it, but like... I guess there was like a network adapter or something for the GBA, and then you could download the story onto the cartridge or something. I don't know. I don't know if you download it to the cartridge or maybe like into the internal memory of some kind of like online device, and maybe that's why people weren't able to dump it. But yeah. The not-so-large courtyard is dotted with areas in which withered plants are growing. In addition to that, an old clock tower is faintly visible. From here I cannot determine what time the clock is pointing to. Wait, something appears to be wriggling about in the darkness. An animal? No, it's dark and I can't see so well. But it is slowly moving on two legs. It appears to be searching for prey. At that moment the radio had clipped to my chest. I had clipped to my chest. Suddenly began making noise. As I returned my sight to the hallway, a sharp pain runs through my thigh. When I look down, I see the tips of those long claws are piercing my thigh. Here's kind of the noise I was making at the time. Or something. I can't really do like a good Harry impression when he gets hit by those things, like or something. Those oddly shaped monsters, they're posed like they want to hug me and have gathered around my waist. They're about to bite me. I instantly pushed the monster away with my hands, readied the handgun and fired. Shoot the motherfucker. Actually, no. I think we have to like save up ammo or something, so let's just try that. With my right hand I pushed on its head part with force and knocked it away. It then totters and falls down on its face. That was when I noticed that I had been completely surrounded by those monsters. I readied the gun, I fixed my aim on their heads and pulled the trigger with my trembling index finger. I continued to shoot as each one of them appears. The smoke from the fog from the gun, powder began to fill the air around me. So I placed one hand over my mouth. Did we die? Even after the noise from the radio had stopped, I could only stand there, paralyzed in utter amazement among their corpses. Is Cheryl really alright? She shouldn't have been carrying anything that could be used as a weapon. I begin running. I can't just stand around. There's not a moment to lose. Cheryl is waiting for me. Wait a minute. Suddenly, my vision became hazy or something, and I rubbed my eyes. When I looked back, I see that all the bodies of the monsters have unexpectedly vanished. What? Was I hallucinating? Or is it just because of technical limitations of the PlayStation 1? I pulled the guide map out of my inner pocket and shined the flashlight on it. And then I confirmed that there's a boiler room located in the basement. My feet naturally began to take me there. I descend the stairs to the basement, taking one step at a time, a school building without light. As I move toward, I am beset on all sides by absolute darkness. As I head towards new fear and new enemies, my feet have no intention of stopping their advance. But oddly enough, I don't have a sense of justice. I just want to make sure that Cheryl is safe. To catch her in my arms, that is the only goal. The boiler is not running. If I simply press the switch in front of me, then this eerie machine should begin operating. However, I just stand still. I try pushing the switch, but the boiler doesn't do anything at all. So I try opening the switchboard cover below the switch. It appears that I must somehow supply power from the main power supply to the boiler. The power supply is on the right. From the left of the switchboard, a thick pipe extends out and is connected to the boiler. Oh no, okay, so right, so we just need to like oh okay, I see. So like, this is just like needs to be like routed to the from the right to the left. I think it would be like this, that, this, that, right? Or I could just like do it like this, right? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Oh. Actually, wait. I guess I have like multiple options. Got it. I have an instinctive feeling that by pushing this switch, that something outrageous may happen. Although at the same time, I also notice my daughter Cheryl's scream run through my heart like a sense of duty that makes me feel that I must push the switch. I slowly push the switch in. The entire school building shudders as if it were a giant ship. The entire elementary school building appears as if it has been swallowed by Cheryl's heart as she stands alone in the darkness. I understand that I must do something. To the courtyard, the darkness softly whispers to me. Oh man, my mouth is getting dry from all the speaking all the time. Fuck's sake. You can read it. No, it's fine. The clock tower looks to be about tall enough to reach the third floor of the school. At its base, there is a small... At its base, you could probably read better than I can. At its base, there's a small door about big enough for an adult to enter, like a stupid fucking adult crawling in there. The door solemnly opened. After opening, the door seems to beckon the one standing in front. Beckon? Front of it to enter with an irresistible mental energy. I cannot resist that power because I'm very mentally not so strong. As I entered the door, closes a hopeless thunder. With a hopeless thunder. Inside the clock tower, a physiologically loathsome stench physiologically loathsome stench hung in the air. However, the smile of my beloved daughter in my heart lessens my uneasiness and lets me forget my fear, if even for only a moment. Reassured, I place my foot on the ladder leading underground with my greatest motive, called love. Then the inside finally became a small passage about large enough for an adult. I run, trusting that I will... Trusting! God, I thought he said thrusting. Trusting that I will see her smile ahead. I run forward, stomping on concrete stained with a smell of death. Once I climb the ladder at the end of the tunnel, there will be no going back. I mutter Cheryl's name one more time. The depressing sound of the door closing echoes throughout the courtyard. Where am I? A raw, warm breeze brushes past my cheeks. The view lets me know that this is like a completely different world from this school I was just in. Once again, I think, where am I? I descend the small stairs leading away from the clock tower and become even more convinced an extremely religious-looking design has been drawn in the center of the courtyard. Within a large double circle, a triangle has been placed, and within that a strange pattern that looks like how do you say it again? Hieroglyphics, I guess. Hieroglyphics is drawn. I don't remember this being here before, I mutter. This is definitely a school. This is definitely the school I was just in. placement of the trees, and the construction of the building. However, an overpowering feeling of nausea rises up throughout my body. A revolting, horrible smell, like that of a stench of cutting into rotten meat, thickly wafts throughout the air and is nearly visible to the eye. Nearly visible. Oh. My mouth is dry. I begin to run. I can no longer bear to stay in this spot. By the time I place my hand on the door that leads inside the school building, I no longer have the strength left to tell how long I was running. Maybe it was only for an instant. The school building has dramatically changed. Metal grated floors, blood-covered walls, corpse-like puppets hanging everywhere. It's like a nightmarish scene in which everything is isolated from the real world. In spite of that, I run. I am searching for Cheryl. The unpleasant metallic sounds of my footsteps resonate throughout the inside of the school. And then I open the door to the teacher's room. Perhaps the door is not installed correctly, as it took me several forceful tries to force it open. Once I enter the room, I am shocked. Desks are strewn about, and a raw, rotten stench rules the room. Time for call the police. Call home where no one should be. I mean, that's like the dumbest thing to do, right? Calling home where no one should be. So let's do that. Call the cops, bro. I don't know. Okay, let's call the cops then. With slight hope, I pick up the telephone receiver. Just as I had guessed, the depressing busy signal just repeats over and over. As I gently hang up the telephone receiver, I realize that all means of contacting the outside world have already been lost. I must find Cheryl right away and escape from the insane world with her. I begin to leave the room. However, my heart rapidly contracts as the goes. The mechanical sound echoes throughout the room. I nervously approach the cell phone, which goes like and once again pick up the receiver. Daddy? Help me. It's Cheryl. There's no mistaking it. I firmly press the receiver against my ear. Daddy? Where are you? Cheryl. Is this Cheryl? At that moment, Cheryl's voice replaced with a busy signal. I knew it. I think Cheryl is here. Being located in the residential area, many children probably come to this school. The interior of the elementary school is larger than I imagined, including classrooms. There are a lot of rooms, so locating Cheryl will be extremely difficult. If Cheryl wasn't brought here by someone and instead came here of her own free will, then perhaps she might be in that one room. I spin around to the stairs and the end of the hall and then sprint up them. Fucking sprint up them. I have come to the library and my eyes are drawn to the open book there. It was a children's book, a pharmaceutical book, a dictionary by religious science. What kind of difference does this make? Like, if you don't follow exactly what happened in the original game, then like weird shit will start happening. Like, let's say I say it's a pharmaceutical book. Does that mean I can't defeat the shithead anymore, or like, isn't that even gonna be there, or like what the fuck? I kind of just want to like go off the rails here. Let's I don't know, like dictionary of religious science or something. That sounds stupid. Could try that, I guess. I don't know. Depending on the region, each have the characteristic of having individual doctrines. From ancient times, the practice of offering a living sacrifice was the only way to avoid disaster. Most believers are those who have chosen to renounce the world for their sake or sake of their beliefs, while those believers who cannot yet give up their material possessions need to deepen their knowledge of the sacred texts. However, some believers have a tendency to strictly hide the fact that they're believers from others. This is because they believed that if the fact that they are believers becomes known, then their effectiveness would become nothing. Even with black magic, which is thought to have vanished in present times, its magical spells are actively researched in such areas. Yeah, probably. In that process, an altar set alight with a sacred flame and the symbolic seal were required. Then, by summoning an evil being and bringing it to contact with a saint, a new existence is said to be able to create it. What the fuck happened with like your playthrough? It's like it didn't make any sense. Like, fucking Harry shoots Sybil at the police station. Then they team up. And then they go to the fucking hospital where Harry burns to a crisp, and then Sybil starts strangling Alessa, and then she dies too, or what? But then Alessa says that I was trying to save you. In this case, the saint is not limited to a priest, as an inanimate object can also be used. I become gripped with the sense that my actions have been controlled by someone this entire time. Coming to the library, seeing that specific page in the open book, even whatever it is that I must do now, it is a decision that is out of my hands. Everything that has happened has been in someone's hands. I have gradually come to understand this. Even still, I probably cannot determine my own course. I accept the direction of the unseen one, to whom I must obey. In order to find Cheryl, there is no other alternative. I now know where it is I need to go. As I journey there, I walk firmly, stepping forward one step at a time. I descend a staircase from which uncomfortably warm air flows and find an elevator at its base that invites me to descend even further as its doors slowly open. Once I enter, its doors close, and in the next moment, with a rusty clunk, smash, and clunk sound, the elevator begins to descend at a high rate of speed. Just how far down is it going? All I can do is go with the flow. Gradually, the elevator and I enveloped in hot, humid air. But it cannot be. How is this air humid? As far as I know, in Tucson, Arizona, the air is very dry, but it is indeed hot. The elevator stops, and I step off. Its doors open. Beyond a short passage, a dazzling light emitted from a small streaming room, a small room which has been waiting for my arrival. In the center of the fires, hell burned, and everything made it look like this room was meant for prayer. And then, it was there. It, also known as Arcus, slowly moved around the enormous scones? How do you even say it? Scones? From which flames and ash rose. The Arcus looks to have suddenly mutated. Its outer shell is a mucous membrane type. It just stares at me, and with surprisingly comfortable speed, it looks for a chance to attack. Smash, and clunk. Here I fired the gun at its large body. I am no match for this enemy with the weapons I am carrying.
Ouch time!
Should I shoot it? Or just run? I'm gonna run. I was overwhelmed by its size. I've got to escape. I don't stand a chance with the feeble weapon in my pocket. I look for an escape route. However, the entrance I came through is now closed by a thick solid metal fence without any opening which I could slide through. I cannot escape. At that moment, a part of my memory was suddenly awakened. Definitely. In the library. In the teacher's room? Well, in the teacher's room, he'd be like, oh yes, I talked to Cheryl, and in the library he read the book about something. In the teacher's room, the phone call I received, Cheryl cries dance about in my memory. That's right, I cannot let myself die here. Cheryl is waiting somewhere for me to rescue her. She's still alive. I raise my head, it's hard. How canon is this, by the way? Like, is this who's this made by? Is this made by like Team Silent or someone else? I don't even know. Because I mean, it goes all over the place. Publisher Konami. No. Not publisher. Give me developer. Developer Konami, for fuck's sake. Who made this? But yeah, here's a link to the Lost Media thing, the extra scenario that's not in this. I raised my head. Its hard scale shined in the light from the hellfires. It must have a weak point if I can just hit that. I stood my ground and waited for its attack. I let it draw as close as I could inside its mouth. If I can just fire blindly in there. Perfect. It had drawn close, and then its mouth sprung open. It looked as if it were planning to swallow me whole. My fingers trembled at its size. I could no longer hesitate. I aimed at the inside of its mouth and quickly pulled the trigger. Over and over and over, the sound of gunshots rang out from my weapon for as long as I had ammunition. And then I lost consciousness. When I came to, I found myself in the middle of the dark room. Where is this? I wondered to myself. The monster from before has vanished. I heavily stood up, and then waited motionless for a bit until my eyes came into focus. Somehow this looks to be the boiler room. It is oddly quiet. Maybe I was dreaming? My very exhausted body seems to have also recovered somehow. The low hum of the boiler strangely calms my nerves. And then I sensed the presence of a person, and I shift my gaze. There was a girl standing there. She was wearing dark blue clothing, and her light brown hair was neatly combed. The girl was just staring right at me. Once I noticed her, and began to step toward her, she completely disappeared, as if her body just dissolved into thin air in the room, and I was alone in the room again. Well, what was that? Well, it ditched again, I guess. A strange feeling of relief. After standing for a bit, I let out a long breath and then placed my hand on the door at the entrance. Sunlight is shining into the hall of the school building. As usual, the snow is the ash is still outside, but I am gripped with a strange feeling of relief, as if cancerous cells had just been removed from me. That's an odd fucking thing to say. Filled with relief, I slowly walked toward the exit of the school building. And then I learned that Cheryl is not here. From the loud sound of the church bells that seemed to call out to me, I begin to run toward the church on a road half covered in poop. Poop. Ash falls above my head, some of which burns my hair as hot air flows by. When I reach the church, I push open the heavy door without hesitation. A cross is mounted on the front wall. Long benches are lined up on both sides of a small walkway. It was as if time had stopped for this familiar style church. In front of the altar, a sly-looking woman with cold eyes looks down at me with an eerie grin. As I walked up to her, stepping one step at a time, she gazed at me without blinking. She looked as if she had predicted that I would arrive, possibly by gyromancy. "Why are you ringing that bell?" The woman snorted with a hump. "I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy." "What are you talking about?" "I knew you'd come. You weren't the girl, right?" "The girl? You're talking about Cheryl." My eyes grew wide. "I see everything." "You know something? Tell me." "Stay back." The woman held the palm of her hand out at me and then lowered her chin. Why was it so high up? In a way that suggested, "Please calm down." What? Lowered her chin? "Nothing is to be gained by floundering about at random. You must follow the path. The path of the hermit, concealed by flowers." What? What are you talking about?" I asked once more without hiding my bewilderment. "Here, the flowers, a cage of peace. It can break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld. These will help you. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late." The woman held up a strange object and then softly placed it on the desk on top of the altar. "Wait! Don't go yet!" I will believe that woman's story. Her story was unclear, and I don't understand it. I cannot just carelessly believe her. I don't know. Do I believe her? She seemed pretty confident about what she was saying, so like... sorry. Either she practiced it a lot, or she's telling the truth. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Should I believe her, or should I not believe her? I'll let chat decide. Alright. I'm actually curious about... I'm gonna not... should I believe... I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter in this case, because... Like, do we know that, like, Harry believes her immediately? I don't think so. I think it just... It's, like, optional. I don't think, like... Because, like, if he... In the game, he only eventually believes her anyways, I guess... You know what? We're fucking stupid. We're gonna believe her immediately. Let's just go with that. She lives here. I choose to believe her story without objection. All that remains in the church is the reverberations of the sound of the door closing. I go after that woman. I am convinced that that woman definitely knows some secrets of some sort. However, the knob on the door that she went through will not turn at all. It must be locked from the other side. Damn! Now I am the only one left in the church, almost as if taken from a nightmare. This space has heat. Its warmth. It feels like it is protecting me. Well, we're not necessarily alone if that door that she went through doesn't actually lead outside, but like into another room of the church, then technically you're still not alone in the church, you're just alone in this hall of the church. From something. That is the best way to describe the heat. I move away from the door and begin walking to the altar that woman was at. The object that woman was holding has been placed there. The pyramid. That is certainly what that woman had called this. I try picking it up, and then I place it back on top of the desk right away. It is power. The overwhelming power of the gods rests inside this four-sided object. It was a sensation, like an electrical current passing into the palm of my hand, and then power moving throughout every nook and cranny of my body. I pick it up once more. This time I calmly take it into my hand and then place it in my pocket. For some reason I am convinced that this object will help me find Cheryl, my little girl. I pick up the key that was next to the florist, open the door of the church, and rush out into the heated, superheated ash world again. Hospital? That woman certainly said something about one. Alchemilla Hospital? The only hospital I could find on the map was that one. I could see my breath as I exhaled while I headed toward the entertainment district. The bridge to the entertainment district has been raised so that boats can pass by it in the river below. In other words, it is split in the middle and is fixed in a raised position that makes it look like the Japanese katakana character. Since when is he a weeb? Since when is Harry a weeb? Like, he keeps coming with these like Japanese references. I entered the nearby drawbridge control room, placed the key. It's kind of like an Atari logo without like the middle bit. Holding into the control panel and forcefully turn it to the right, while emitting a sound like an old woman laughing. The bridge what? While emitting a sound like an old woman laughing? What does that sound like? Like that's what he means? I don't know. The bridge finally begins to lower, inviting me to the entertainment district. After crossing the bridge, I shudder. The temperature is gradually increasing, or maybe it is just a result of the thing inside me that produces nervousness and fear. On this wide road, there is not a single motorcycle running. I'm running right down the center of it. If I continue forward, Alchemilla Hospital should be on the right. An old building appears in the thick fog. On the signboard, Alchemilla appears in faded letters. Its eeriness caused me to hesitate for a moment. For an instant. But the next moment, I placed my hand on the hot gate. I opened the heavy hospital gate, and then opened the door directly to my right that has entrance written on it. There was no puzzle on the door. That's weird. The inside of the hospital is wrapped in silence. To the left, there is... I mean, normally there isn't, but like, when you were playing the Sybil one, there was a puzzle on the door. I don't know why. The inside of the hospital is wrapped in silence. To the left, there is a reception area in which various papers are neatly placed on the shelf. Waiting benches are lined up along on the back of this hall, and a television is pointed at them. I wonder who designed this hospital in, like, theme hospital. I do not feel the presence of any patients or even any people. Only faint light pours in through the windows from the cloudy sky. The hall is filled with a trace scent of alcohol which penetrates my nose. I begin walking. After passing through the waiting room, I reach a long corridor. I open the door marked examination room. Oh no. At almost the exact same time as I opened the door, a man inside jumped out of his chair. He's holding a handgun in his right hand. I don't know if I ever got this far because I feel like, I think if I remember right, the other GBA emulator might have like crashed out during the school, but it might have been the hospital. Actually, I can't remember where it like something weird happened. Like it just froze. I think, if I remember right, at one of the scenes. It almost yeah okay. He's holding a handgun in his right hand. Okay, I hid behind the door in panic. Immediately counterattack with my gun. Let's go. Let's shoot Kaufman. I instantly ready my gun. That plump man appeared to realize that I was a human, but as soon as he saw the gun, his eyes grew wide. Hold it! Stop! Don't shoot! Wait! I'm not here to fight. It's like a fucking reverse scene from the game. Alright, I'll be right back. Get a bathroom break. This is... I actually like this a lot more. Because, you know, it makes more sense. Because if you think about it, this is America, right? So... some little pussy-ass bitch called Harry just fucking hides behind the door, like, don't shoot, I'm human. Of course he gets shot, like immediately. Kaufman just pulls the trigger and shoots him. But this way... Kaufman is like, oh, another American, you know, instead of another human being, like, it's another American, you know, pulling out the gun immediately. See, that makes a lot more sense. Thank God, another American. My name is Harry Mason. I'm in town on vacation. Do you work here? The man nodded. I was truly relieved. Soylent Hill, which has become a habitat for strange monsters. This is my first contact with someone from America. I'm Dr. Michael Kaufman. I work at this American hospital. So maybe you can tell me what's going on in America. That man who called himself Kaufman once again stirs in the chair he is sitting in. He's not sitting! I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared, and it's ashing out this time of year. Yeah, exactly. He's like, yes, another patriot. Another free man. Pointing a gun at me, like, yes. This guy must be American. He cannot be a monster. He looks off at the floor of the examination room. There on the floor, the corpse of a still warm monster lay on its side. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you see those monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist. Yeah. And then I turned to face him as I realized something. Have you seen a little girl anywhere? I'm looking for my daughter. She's only 7, short black hair. She's missing? I'm sorry, but with all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's, you know. Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you? She died 4 years ago. I will tell you the exact details about how she died as well. Now it's just me and my daughter. I see. I'm sorry. Well, I'd better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing. So long. Good luck out there. Bang! The examination room door shuts powerlessly. What? Well, hold on. It's a bang, but it's also powerless? Dr. Michael Kaufman. Oddly enough, I have completely memorized that name. Huh? I suddenly noticed that there is something on the floor that looks like a white scrap of paper. What's this? I pick it up. Letters have been disorderly scribbled on them. On it. Arrival tomorrow morning. Be prepared. What? What's this? Check to see if there's anything else. Go after Kaufman. I've definitely gotten to this point because I remember going after Kaufman. So I guess it worked this way. I don't know where exactly it broke. Or, you know what? Maybe it broke already by this point. Because I remember... Actually, yeah. Because I think I have actually played through this before. But I was using the PC app. There's like a PC port of the GBA game. But I think it only contained the Harry story because I couldn't do Sybil or something like that. I forget what happened exactly, but I can remember it was not very good. It was like a small window as well. You couldn't like enlarge it, so it kind of sucked. I think I played through the OBS preview or something. Go after Kaufman. I leave the examination room. Kaufman is nowhere to be found. I begin to run. I pass through the medicine room and reach a planked floor corridor that silently extends in an L shape. I moved toward and found that there was an elevator with a large door at the end of the corridor. I try pressing the buttons beside it. Nothing happens. It looks like the power is off. There are several doors in the corridor. I begin opening each one in order. I kind of want to look around what else is there actually. Hold on. Let's try this instead. I carefully look around on the floor, but it doesn't appear that anything else interesting has been dropped. I look all around the examination room. Up until a short time ago, this was just a normal room in a hospital, with its various instruments and tools all about, each something arranged per function. Abruptly? I don't know. Only people have been erased from the normal scene, making the situation unnatural. I leave the examination room. I pass through the medicine room and search... Open the door marked meeting room. Head inside and close the door behind me. A large table rests in the center of the room, and I notice that there is something glittering on top of it. I grasp the light green key, leave the room, and once again step into the hot corridor. The next room looks to be the kitchen. I guess that the floor for patients is probably prepared here. Various bronze cooking utensils are neatly arranged in order on the stainless steel countertop. It does not appear that anything terribly important is here. I carefully look through the various cooking utensils. Inside a large pot there is nothing at all. While continuing to search to see if there might be some clue here or not, I notice that on the far wall various objects have been scattered about. I carefully move forward on the wet floors as not to slip. Something is there. I reach out my hand towards the thing in front of me. Pick up the pet bottle. Pick up the kitchen knife. Well... Should I follow the story or like should I just... I don't know. Should I do the... cannon thing, pick up the bottle or pick up the kitchen knife. Hello, Zen Ivan. What's up, gamer? We got one for knife. Dun, 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 dun. Whoops. Wait. Wait, you can go back? Wait, you can go back? You can go back? What the fuck? Really? Is it just like, oh, you can reread what happened already? You can't like change your choices though. Okay, I see. With I didn't know that you can do that with the L and R buttons. Alright, let's pick up the knife. I picked up a knife that appeared to be for the kitchen use. Perhaps this will come in handy for something. I only have a limited number of bullets. When the time comes, I might be able to use this as a weapon. I left the kitchen. I crept out into the corridor once more and stood in front of the door that was closest to the elevator. I opened the door, and the reverberations of the sounds of it opening. What? I opened the door, and the reverberations of the sounds of it opening and then closing shake my eardrums. The walls are made of concrete, and a few steps in a staircase leading to the basement extends like the folds inside the body of a snake. It is dark and difficult to see, but it looks like there is a door at the bottom of the staircase. Be brave, I muttered to myself, leaving only the echoes of my footsteps, of those clunking ass shoes. I descend the staircase to hell, one step at a time, and then I open the door, leading into darkness. I could see that the electricity was most likely out in the entire hospital. I pressed the switch on the flashlight on my chest and tried lighting the area. It is creepy, and yet there is nothing noticeably out of place. Hot air drifts from the hot concrete, and it seems as if touching it would completely rob my body of its warmth, of its coldness. While moving through the corridor, I try opening the doors, or as I come to them. Of them, one opens with a creak. Emergency generator is written on the machine that occupies most of the room. To reach the second floor and above it did not look like there was any method other than using the elevator, so without hesitation, I turned the machine on. My name is Harry Mason. I'm in town on hesitation. I immediately head for the elevator. I press the up button. The heavy sound of the motor and the sounds of metal parts coming into contact with each other almost sound like intertwined screams. He fucking, like, he's saying that about everything. Like, he said that like fucking 4 or 5 times already, where my footsteps kind of sound like screams. Oh, this door kind of sounds like screams. The fucking, the generator sounds like screams. How? What? Oh my god. Fucking asshole. The ding, with a ding the elevator stops and its door slowly open. It kind of sounded like a scream. The inside of the elevator is large. It kind of sounds like a scream. It seems to be about big enough to accept 3 screaming hospital beds. Buttons for each floor are lined up to the right of the elevator door. They're marked 321 and B from the top down. First I head to the second floor. However, after I stepped off the elevator, I find that the door connected to the corridor that leads to the rooms on this floor is locked. With no alternative, I try heading to the 3rd floor, but I find that it is in the same state. Well, what now? I have already tried moving to every floor. With nothing else to do, I re-entered the elevator and then could not believe my eyes. Of the buttons for each floor, 3 was definitely the highest floor, just before. In spite of that, a new 4 button has been added. Well, it wasn't on the picture though, what the fuck? They forgot to add the picture with the 4. The elevator doors open with a familiar sound and I step out onto the 4th floor. Again, I think, a condition extremely similar to that which I encountered after passing through the basement in the clock tower at the elementary school was present right in front of me. Dark red rusted walls, metal grated floors, and the ringing in my ears that seemed to creep up from the depths of hell is a menace to my mental state. I open the door in front of me, and the long corridor extends beyond it. I very carefully move forward, while keeping my eyes fixed on the wall. Could Cheryl really be here? The only way to find out is to search this place. Huh? I can hear something in the darkness in front of me. It sounds like the groan of something dragging on the ground. The owner of that groan is slowly closing in on me, but I cannot see what it is for sure with the faint light of my flashlight. I instantly ready my gun, leave this area. I'll leave this area. I'm in danger. I try running away. However, I can hear the owner of that eerie groan pursuing me from behind. I thought that maybe it was echoing of the walls, but that is not the case. I became aware of my situation. I'm clearly surrounded. There's nowhere to run to. I have no choice. It is probably not human. I firmly grab the gun, position my finger on the trigger, and then begin to walk towards it with the gun ready beside my face. What the fuck was that? Eventually something white enters my field of vision. I adjust the flashlight on my chest with my hand and shine light on it. Then the monster has a very large hump on its back, which twitches and moves as if it were alive. In one hand it holds a knife, which it waves as it approaches me. In the instant I readied my gun, the monster began to run. By the time I realized this, it slashed at me, I instantly dodged the attack, and thanks to that, damn, I kick it in the face with the bottom of my shoe, the big clunking fucking wooden one, and it falls down on its back. It then begins to stand for its next attack. What the fuck is this thing? I close my left eye and steady my aim. I close my left eye and then move the gun to my left eye. At that point I realize I closed my wrong eye. Even after the shot hits, its movement does not change at all. I fire more bullets at it. It is laughing, in a voice great enough to shake the entire world. It laughs as its face twists and distorts. I cannot give up. When the final bullet loaded into my gun hits it, it finally stops laughing. This time it is face down and I begin crushing it with my foot. This is insane. Another monster approaches from behind the corpse of the first one. At this rate, all the bullets in the world would not be enough. All I can do is run. How about the knife? I picked up a knife. Run past the monster in front of me and run past the monster behind me. I'm guessing in front of me because like I can't go back, right? So that one. I begin to run towards the monster in front of me, evading the large swings of its knife. I run down the dark corridor, occasionally stumbling. I see a staircase leading down. I race down it, knowing not whether... Wait, is this still on the 4th floor? There were no monsters on the 4th floor in the game. No, okay, knowing not whether if something is waiting for me or not at its base. I'm thinking about Cheryl. Even if she's held prisoner somewhere in this hospital, there's no guarantee that I can rescue her. In fact, there's no reason that the staircase I am descending should lead me to Cheryl. I begin to think that all of my current actions are meaningless. However, generally speaking, since I arrived in Silent Hill, no, since the day before leaving for Silent Hill, no, even longer ago, no, even since the beginning of fucking time, since the day I met Cheryl, perhaps, I have not had I have had no choice in my actions, that they have been determined by someone's will. As I continue to the base of the stairs, I contemplate what if my life up to this point had just been on one track. As I descend the stairs, my ears began ringing again. The ringing is so forceful that it cannot even be compared to before, and it forces me to squat down. What in the world has happened? Perhaps I have opened the door to hell, a door that should never be opened. Something is clearly changing, and it is for the worse. Going back will not be permitted. I must move forward. Forward, I put my hands together on my head, and then squeeze my temples tightly by using my elbows. The ringing then begins to sound like a demon is whispering in my ears. However, it doesn't stop. I blindly begin to run. Even if I am to die in this mad land, I must save my beloved Cheryl first. Believing that the answers are beyond the door, I know that I must discover at least one clue. Several overlapping square figures are shaking in time with the sound of my heart. It is the wall at the end of the area. Another wall is lies. What? Another wall is lies perpendicular to it. There's a door present on this wall with a plate on it that says storehouse. Some chemicals. Oh no, is that puzzle, right? Some chemicals have been placed on the table that is next to the door. There are 3 beakers of different sizes and a test tube. The test tube contains a liquid that is of a different color to that which is in the leftmost beaker. I found a memo. To create it, you must come up with 1 deciliter of liquid and pour it into the test tube. No more or no less than that man had said. But there are no... Okay, hold on. It's like, if I remember right, when I played the PC version of this, I think it only had the Harry scenario and it didn't have the Sybil scenario or something like that. If I remember right. And I wanted to play the fucking Sybil one and I could not. It was bullshit. No graduations on the beakers. This makes it impossible to come up with 1 deciliter using these 3 large beakers. Explanation of controls. Use a D-pad to select a beaker that contains the liquid and then confirm with the A button. Then choose the beaker that you wish to move the liquid to and press the A button to move the liquid. Using the 10 deciliter, 7 deciliter and the 5 deciliter beakers, you must create an amount of exactly 1 deciliter. I forget how this works, but we'll see. Door won't budge an inch. Oh yeah, that's a bit glitchy. That was also glitchy in that GBA emulator on Wii when I played on Wii. So I wonder if, like... I'm hoping it's not gonna break at this point. So what is it that I need to do? Hold on. So I need to, like, have just very little left to put into that, right? I guess something like that, yeah. Wait, no, hold on. No, hold on. How do you go back? Okay. Dude, here. No, wait, yeah, like, move it here. And then move that here. I'm not actually sure what I need to do, but I'm guessing I just need, like, very little amount. How much would I need? Like, just 1? I forgot how this works. can't remember what you need to do here. I need to make it so that it's just 1 out of 5 and then I can put it in there. Is that how that works? Or I think was it the fuck it, hold on, can I go back? What's my latest save actually? 'Cause I can't remember what the quest was. Okay, so I just need 1. This makes it impossible to come up with 1 using these 3 large beakers. But wait, isn't that what I need to do? Hold on. To create it... Okay, hold on. Some chemicals... Da, 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 da. So I need 1 somehow. But it said 1 cannot be done though, right? Hold on. Fuck, it crashed. Oh wait, no it didn't. No, it's doable, it's doable. Aha, it is. I got it. That was in Chinese, I don't know why. Harry melted the chain on the door with the completed liquid. The door slowly opens with a click. Inside the storehouse, nothing important looking stands out. I carefully edge between the simple metal shelves that have been placed here in a specific arrangement. However, nothing is here that makes this room worthy of being called a storehouse. I am drawn toward the cabinet in the back of this room. This is because I found the presence of the wooden cabinet strange and unsuitable for this simple room. I approach the cabinet and try to open it. However, it will not budge. Well, I will look at the floor under the cabinet, I will look inside of the cabinet, I will look on top of the cabinet. I'm gonna look inside the cabinet. Putting force into my fists, I pounded the cabinet's small wooden doors until they broke. Inside, there is nothing of particular value. Okay, so like, it doesn't matter. Okay, using my body weight, slowly push, blah blah, natural. So of course I place my hand on it. The room is very inorganic. While shining my flashlight about, I move through the room and eventually discover a grate in the floor. From between the bars in the grate I can see a staircase that leads to a lower floor. The grate makes it a clunk, nice clunk, sound as I open it. It is quite heavy. Even though I am sure of my strength, I do not believe that I could pick it up. After opening the grate enough so that I can pass through it, I gently place one foot on the staircase that has appeared. Slowly and cautiously, confirming each step as I go, I descend the staircase to a mad place in which light cannot reach. Finally, I reach a wide room, much wider than I imagined. Guess this is based on the echoes of my footsteps. Run. I'm running through this eerie space that lies in the basement of the hospital. It is lifeless, and there's no light, so it's also lightless. All I can do is run through it. Does this world have an end, or did it even have a beginning? Everywhere I go, all that I do is solve the mysterious that appear one after another, then after, move on. I understand this, and expect that the same situation will continue. Still, all I can do is move forward. My thinking always results in this conclusion. This door has awaited me. I slowly turn the knob. The inside of this room is different from the ones I have encountered up to this point, and I can feel life in here. There are traces, and I sense that someone was in this room. I softly pick up the picture frame that was displayed on the desk. Alessa, that is engraved on the picture frame. I gaze at the picture. It is a face that I think I have seen somewhere. I try to remember where as hard as I can, but in the end I cannot remember at all. But I am sure that I have met this girl somewhere, and more than that, and more than just once. A diary has been placed next to the picture frame. I reach out with my hand, pick up the diary, pick up the picture. We're stupid, so we're gonna pick up the picture. Alessa. That name appears in a small engraving in the lower right of the picture, and I read that aloud. The girl in the picture just looks at me, with her gentle lips open in a way that makes it look as if she wants to say something. That face, which I have memory of seeing, is especially pretty. This girl is. In the middle of my sentence, I went silent. I began to return the picture frame to its original position. I noticed that something is written on the back. O2 something 4Y DNA. What's this? The incomprehensible letters had been scribbled there. A feeling of doubt runs through my chest. I removed the picture from the frame. I placed it in the diary that was sitting beside the picture frame. I then held the diary tightly under my arm and left the room. 5001. Hello, hello? The phone had suddenly gone dead. She tried to call back right away. However, the call would not go through. Alessa, just who is she? And why was her picture on the display in the deep basement of the hospital? And where was that strange feeling of a life that I sensed that room coming from? I I am unable to figure any of it out, and so I am irritated. I head for the examination room on the first floor. All the mysteries of the hospital are surely prepared in that room. Believing so, I race up the stairs while having difficulty breathing. When I open the door of the to the examination room, I feel the presence of a person and stop moving. The inside of the room is dark. Someone is here. Who is it? Yo, Blue Man. One sec, I'll be right back. Fired the gun. I mean, that could be funny, I suppose. I readied the handgun, so there's more of you bastards. I can depend only upon my gun in this hospital, which had become a nest of monsters. Didn't I run out of bullets earlier? At the moment I was about to pull the trigger, a woman shrieked, "Wait, don't shoot, I'm human!" With my gun still readied, she definitely knew that I was American. I carefully looked at the woman under the desk. What are you doing under there? Oh yeah, I think this song is actually pretty cool. I like this. Once the woman realized that I was an American, she ran towards me and threw her arms around me like a child would. Finally, someone else who's American. After mumbling those words in a tearful voice, she held me more tightly. Who are you? My name is Liza Garlic. What's yours? Harry Mason? I'm in town on procrastination. After we exchanged our simple introductions, I sat in a chair and she sat on the bed so that we were facing each other. The woman that called herself Lisa had blonde hair and an intelligent look to her. Even though she had blonde hair, she had an intelligent look to her. Maybe she might know something. At the moment I was about to speak, the woman began talking. Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where's everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. Her voice did not feel like it was coming from her body, and was accompanied by a strange reverberation. It's awful. So, you don't know anything either. Great, for fuck's sake. I just don't get it. It's like, what's with everyone in this fucking town? It's like all some kind of dream. As I select my words, I have a feeling that even my own words are not coming from my body. Let me ask you. Yeah? A living nightmare. Let me ask you. Have you seen a little girl around here, short black hair, 7 years old? I mutter. Cheryl, in a voice that Lisa would not hear. A 7-year-old girl. What, she's your daughter? Yes. A 7-year-old girl. I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry. It's alright. Fuck's sake. That was just as I expected, but I continue asking questions without showing my disappointment. Do you know anything about all that weird stuff in the basement? No, why? Is there something down there? You don't know? Don't you work here? What the fuck? We're under strict orders to never enter the basement storeroom. After changing the subject to this hospital basement, I began to notice that my thoughts were becoming muddy. Hey, Jen. So I really don't know. What'd you say was down there? Well, I try as hard as I can to remember the pitiful sight of that room in the basement. However, in trying to trace my memory back to then, that ringing, which had been gone for a while, returned to my ears. A sound like the bells of that church runs through my head. Damn! My head! What's wrong, Harry? Harry? Let me help you. Harry? Lisa has vanished. This is fun. I like this so much. This is a cool game. I just wish we were able to like play the full version with there's like one scenario that's missing from the game, so I only have like 2/3 of it technically. After a while, I noticed that my body was freezing cold, freezing hot. It is as if I am dead, but I am clearly conscious. Where's Lisa? I was definitely in the hospital. Oh, I was definitely talking to her in this examination room. I no longer feel the evil presence that I felt in this room. No, in this entire hospital. No, in this entire world. No, in this entire universe. Up until just before. From the window, soft light is pouring into the room. I was dreaming? Was I dreaming? As I slowly get up, I hear the sound of a door opening. I instantly look toward the source of the sound. The creepy woman I met at the church was standing there with an expressionless look on her face. You were too late. It is you. Yes, Dahlia Gillespie. Tell me everything you know. What's going on? Darkness, she responded before I was even done speaking. The town is being devoured by darkness, the woman continues, while maintaining a devout look. Strength must overcome petty desire, childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come. What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this. Believe the evidence of your eyes, so I should believe the evidence of my eyes. I understand. I am in a situation in which I can only believe what I have seen with my own eyes. The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town? So that's what I saw in the schoolyard. What does it mean? It's the mark of Samael. Don't let it be completed. Hey, wait! Dahlia Gillespie. She places an oddly shaped key on an examination table with a tap, spins around, heads to the door, and then fucks off. You're gone. What the hell? That's weird. So instead of getting the key that tells him, antique store, he looks at a phone book. Random fucking phone book at a payphone in which there's a mark to guide him. It is next to the phone number for an antique shop in the northeast area of the shopping district. So I guess we go there. After leaving the hospital, I began to walk at a loss. It's not that I am tired, but that I am sick of the constant weather. I recall what Kaufman said. He is person that he is person that lives in this town. Yet he did not appear to know why everyone disappeared. When I woke up, it was like this. That is most certainly what he said. Dahlia. She's a mysterious woman. She seems to be holding some secrets, but she always disappears before I can ask her anything. Her timing in meeting me and talking to me was just a little too convenient. Maybe she read the future or something. At any rate, she seemed to have predicted that I would come here, and she spoke about this. And then there's Cheryl's whereabouts. Everything has been unreasonable and illogical. My irritation is increasing, and I will end up losing my cool. Oh, you're cool. The antique shop? Yeah, this is it. For a moment, I was taken with the sense that someone was watching me, but without looking back, I entered the door as if I was being swallowed by it. The inside of the shop is small. I take a look around using my flashlight, and find that the place is such a mess that it looks almost as if it has been ransacked by a thief. Is something here? At first glance, I don't think that there is anything here that concerns me. However, I did not miss that which was hidden behind a shelf. I move the shelf step by step, and an eerie passage leading into darkness appears. What's this? Harry! I look back toward the familiar voice. Sybil? Sybil, who should have left for the next town over to call for backup, was here. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Why did she disappear? Maybe it's something to do with the game itself, not the emulation, or maybe it's like this emulator is also shit. I don't know. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts. What are you doing here? I thought you left town. I saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town were blocked. Cars have completely stopped running. The phones and radios are still out too. What about my daughter? Did you see her? No. Sybil shook her head back and forth. Unfortunately, I haven't. I looked down. What do you mean you haven't? In like on the PS1, she finds her and then she's like floating in midair or something. What about you? Anything? Yeah, I met this bizarre woman. Her name is Dahlia Gillespie. Do you know her? Dahlia Gillespie. I just met her at the church. Something about her, she's quite a creepy person. She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that. Any idea what it means? I really don't know. As for me, she said, you can no longer make it time and such things I did not understand the meaning of. We then just looked at each other for a bit, each of us thinking of something. How is the gun I gave you? Sybil asked with a bright smile. There have been several situations in which I had to use it. I've had to use it. It seems like I have finally gotten used to using it. Well, you know, you won't get over that if you don't use it after all. Sybil brushed her finger on the tip of her nose. Just where's that feeling of emptiness that runs through this room coming from? My body and the images entering my pupils. My pupils? Pupils? It all seems like I am in a dream and that my mind is isolated from them. Sybil's calls brought me back around. Harry! Harry? Hey, Harry! Yeah? What's wrong, Sybil? Sybil looked slightly irritated and took a long breath. Then she shifted her gaze to the passage behind the shelf. What's this? Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there. Let's have a look. Wait, we don't know what's back there. I'd better check it out first. I'm a cop, I should go. No, I'm going. Sybil placed her hand over my mouth to keep me from speaking, even though I look like I am a police officer. What? Wait. Even though I look like this. What? Even though I look like this, I'm a police officer? Please leave everything to me. Think of this as my job. I remained silent for a bit, and then gave in to her. Okay, please be careful. Wow, she's going through. Okay. I peer inside the hidden passage. Inside it look. Wait, am I going? Wait, what? So who's going through then? What? Wait, so what's this? Just okay. So like she's asking, what's this? He says, I just discovered it. She says, maybe there's something back there. Let's have a look. He says, wait, we don't know what's back there. I'd better check it out first. I'm a cop. I should go. Is it a different one? I think that's a different quote. I'm a cop. I should go. No, I'm going. Sybil placed her hand over my mouth to keep me from speaking. Even though I look like this. What do you mean, even though I look like this? Like, fucking hot or what? I'm a police officer. Please leave everything to me. Think of this as my job. I remained silent. Oh no, there's a glitch there. Okay. And then gave in to her. Okay, please be careful. So then Harry tells her to be careful. And then what's this? I peer inside the hidden passage. Like, is Harry now going in? What? So like Sybil convinces Harry that she needs to go in first, but then Harry still goes in, or are we suddenly switching to Sybil? I don't know what's going on here. I peer inside the hidden passage. Inside it looks like an unseen barrier of darkness has been set up, which makes it look like a place no one should enter. I intuitively sense that it would be dangerous to move into this passage. It is that kind of passage. I talked to Sybil once as she enters the passage. Sybil, yes? Do you know anything about, well, like some other world? It's like some kind of bad dream. What are you talking about? I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to make sense of it myself, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur, like some kind of hallucination, you know? I have no idea what you're talking about. Harry? Sybil spoke while shaking her head from side to side. Oh, I was just wondering. Never mind. Harry, you're tired. Yeah, maybe. Am I tired? Yes, I am tired. If that's all it is, then that is fine. If my being tired is what caused me to see all the hallucinations up to this point, then Cheryl should return to me. The only thing is the sensation I am feeling is not that of being tired, rather my body feels as if I have been on the floor sleeping consciously. Consciously and continuously, like a human in cold sleep, and I'm feeling the agonizing suffering of not easily being able to escape from that state. Leaving me behind, Sybil steps into the passage. I can no longer see her from where I am at. My field of vision is swaying. I pressed my back to a wall and steadily slid down until I reached the cold floor. The shadows of several of the items in the room expand and contract. As the light moves, it is as if a great number of spirits are laughing at me. Eventually those shadows pounce on me. The bodiless beings bind my hands and feet and corner me until I am unable to move. I cannot speak. Yet I still continue to speak. One long shadow extends a tentacle, oh no, fucking tentacles, towards my neck. Please stop, I implore. I hold my both of my palms up, but the shadow passes through the areas between my fingers and reaches my neck. I try to speak, but only gasp comes out that will not reach Sybil. Finally, activity in my brain begins to stop due to a lack of oxygen. I saw stars in my eyes and then nothing at all. I lost consciousness as if I were just going to sleep. My body is freezing. Where am I? I cannot focus my eyes. That's right. This is the antique shop. I'm shitting on the floor with my back against the cold wall. I must have dozed off for a bit. My fingers are as cold as ice, and so I cannot move them normally. While chasing around after Sybil, fatigue must have been building up without me realizing it. However, this is no time to be sleeping. Oh, I wonder how Sybil is doing. I look around the room and see that the eerie passage that was hidden behind the shelf is still open, just as it was before. Sybil is still in there. When she comes out, I will have a word with her. I hope she's okay. It seems like quite a bit of time has passed. I heavily stand and check the gun in my pocket. I then stand at the entrance of the completely dark passage. I have only 3 bullets left. I cannot afford to waste any. I thought I ran out of bullets in the hospital. My breathing breaks the silence. I get out the gun and hold it near my temple. With it aimed at the stomach of the dark demon, and then I begin to walk forward. I'm worried about Sybil's safety, so I am guided forward by my quivering feet. After walking for a bit, I sense light coming from somewhere other than the flashing of the flashlight on my chest. I leisurely turn off my flashlight and see that something is shining at the end of the passage. I rush forward. I am running toward the light, not unlike how a small insect would. Something is there? Is Sybil alright? Or will I have to confront a monster again? There was a room at the end of the passage. As I enter the room, the light is so dazzlingly bright that I have to shield my eyes with the back of my hand. There's a simple altar on the wall to the right of where I entered the room. A large flame is coming off of a thick candle, and green smoke is blowing from it. Everything in the room was shaking in the light from that flame. What? Is this place? Once my eyes adjusted to the light, my line of sight jumped to an unbelievable sight. At first I thought it was just a well-made doll, a mannequin with a red shirt on it. On? Wait, a red shirt on? It was on its back, lying in a pool of red liquid, but I soon understood what it was. Sybil, I softly called to her. Her light green shirt had been stained crimson by the flow of red liquid from the back of her neck. I was completely confused. Rush to Sybil's side, step back and run away. We're gonna rush to Sybil's side. Sybil! Sybil, hold on! I shake her shoulders, but she does not respond. Why has this happened? I cover her dead body, her cold body. Lost in hopelessness, I lost consciousness again. She died? Ari, are you okay, Ari? Ari? Where am I, Ari? Wait, where am I? Harry? Lisa? Then I'm in the hospital. You were having a bad dream. Was I? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay? I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about. Well, if you're sure. Lisa? Do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie? Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. But I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since. Well, she says the town is being devoured by darkness. Do you have any idea what she's talking about? The town devoured by darkness. Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion, weird occult stuff, black magic, all that kind of thing. As young people moved away, the people figured they'd been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. Before the resort, there wasn't really anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out. Gotta blame it on something. Then a lot of new people came in and everybody clammed up about it. A cult? Last time I heard anything about it was gosh years ago when several people connected with developing the town died in accidents. People said it was a curse. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'll shut up. No, it's alright. Hey Harry, what happened to your hand? Oh, this. I just hurt it a little bit. Is it ok? Yeah, just a scratch, nothing major. Even if it is just a scratch, there's a lot of blood. If you don't look after it soon, it's ok. Please don't touch it. Why are you so angry? Sorry, but this does not concern you. I don't want to get you mixed up in this. I'm sorry, Lisa's words. The reverberations of Lisa's I'm sorry remained in my ears. I wonder how long I had been asleep. I found myself in that antique shop again, lying face down in the same position I was in just a short while ago. Was that another dream? Did I pass out again? I don't want to think so, but maybe this is all just going on in my head. I could have had a car accident, and now I'm lying unconscious in a hospital bed. I don't know what's real anymore. Sybil's body has vanished. She's gone, almost as if she was absorbed into the concrete floor. Maybe Sybil never came here in the first place. Just what did I see? A hallucination? A delusion? I want to talk to Lisa. She knows something. She's holding some secret. I will go see her. Keeping one hand on the wall to support myself, I stumble out of the antique shop. Open the gate to the hospital and then energetically open the door of the examination room. Inside, Lisa is waiting for me. Harry! She changes from looking completely exhausted and rushes over to me in an innocent, childlike way. Glad you're okay. Thank God you came back. I was scared to be here all alone. I'm here now. I was worried about you too. I'm real happy to see you. I lightly hug Lisa and gently draw away. I then speak while looking into her eyes. Lisa, have you seen a policewoman named Sybil? Sybil? That is the first time I've heard that name. I have not what was it? I've not seen her since the town has become like this. I have not met any humans other than you. I was irritated that I didn't understand anything that was going on, so I loudly clicked my tongue. What? What's wrong, Harry? You don't seem yourself. Sorry, I just cannot see the truth. Even talking to you now, I wonder if it isn't just a delusion. Lisa looks a bit sad. I am me. Nothing has changed. I have just been waiting for you here all along. Saying nothing, I just looked at Lisa. While we were talking, I couldn't be sure if that I was currently sitting here or actually speaking. My voice and my existence were beginning to disappear into the dry air in the room. Hold on. Okay. What the hell? He comes back. And then the door opened and someone came in. Dr. Michael Kaufman. Yes, he definitely said that. He was a doctor at this hospital. What are you doing? Lisa took a deep breath and half smiled to greet him. This is Harry. His daughter has become lost in this town. He already told me that. Have you found her? No. I shook my head from side to side. Harry, do you know Michael? Yeah, when I first visited this hospital, I met him once. I recalled the sight of him holding me at gunpoint. Weren't you leaving town? I asked sarcastically. It was no good. All the roads were blocked. It is impossible to get out. The three of us just remained silent. I grew up in this town. I know this area. As far as I could see, all the roads leading out of town have become precipitous cliffs or were blocked with large boulders. We are completely isolated. Lisa's smile disappeared. Well, what are we going to do? We should start thinking about that. I'm going to get some sleep. With that, Kaufman left the room. Where are you going? To the director's office. He often sleeps there. Lisa answered for him. It's cold, and not unexpected, as it is ashing outside. But this room has no heating of any sort. I took off my jacket and went to put it on Lisa, but she shook her head from side to side. Isn't there any heating? Lisa's eyes shifted to the heater in the back of the room. I'm sorry. This worked until yesterday, but today it's broken. It's ironic. Lisa shrugged her shoulders. But there should be an oil heater for use in the patient rooms, in the reception area. I will go and get it. Lisa begins to stand, but I stop her. I will go and get it. You just sit tight. Lisa smiled. You're kind. I pretended not to hear her as I left the room. Why did I come here? I take an audible breath. While I was talking to Lisa, I had become mentally tired. But I did not find myself faintly attracted to her. An unexplainable irritableness took control of my feelings. I placed my hands on one of the two heaters lined up under the reception counter, and then was gripped with a strange sensation. I raised my head and looked around in the dark. Gloomy lobby. There is only the sound of a large wall clock ticking away the passage of undeniable time. While listening to the irregular rhythm of that ticking sound, which was not unlike the... Wait, irregular rhythm? Shouldn't that be a regular rhythm? Because, like, time is passing in a linear fashion, right? So it should be a regular rhythm of that ticking sound, which was not unlike the irregular pulse of a patient just before they die. What? Completely forgot why I came to the lobby. Click, click. Onomatopoeia for footsteps. Footsteps? I turned back. She's such a fucking weeb. Footsteps? I turned back and as I approached the door, the long corridor on the first floor, I saw it. At the end of the corridor, with the white light hitting her back from the window, the dark figure of a girl appeared out of the darkness. Oh, this is where the game ends in like some certain ways, right? Like if you take like certain paths, then it will end here. She appears to be facing me and can see me. Cheryl? At the moment I began to approach, the figure vanished. Bang! The sound of gunfire reverberates throughout the hospital from the door just left of where I'm standing. Lisa! Open the door. The faint scent of gunpowder wafts through the air, and in the middle of the room, Lisa lay on her side, dead. Lisa? I instantly thought of Sybil. The situations strangely resemble each other. Only Lisa and I are in the room. In this closed room, only a face-down corpse and me. In the short amount of time I was out of the room, someone came and shot Lisa in the neck, and then left the room. That girl. Yes, it was that girl. It wasn't me. It was that girl, not me. She must have lied in wait for Lisa to be alone. Alright. However, for what purpose? Why Lisa and not me? Pursue the girl I just saw? Maybe the culprit is someone else, yes, and they're still close. Which one? What should I pick? I think I'm gonna go for let's go for that one. I searched the area around the corpse. There I found a familiar handgun. This is the gun that I received from Sybil. Just to be sure, I checked my pockets. Sure enough, the handgun is gone. At some point, it must have been stolen from me. Kaufman? Or maybe Lisa? When I was passed out? Oh, that is hard to imagine. Kaufman and I were far apart, and I cannot imagine that he managed to take the gun from me while the gun from where it was, or where he was. The same with Lisa. I cannot imagine that she would take the gun while I was knocked out for the purpose of suicide. And then there's Sybil's death. The girl. There's no doubt about it. She had been following me all this time, just out of my sight. She took the gun while I was sleeping, and then shot Lisa. I darted out of the room and began to run in the direction where the girl was. I held the gun ready near my temple, and arrived at the elevator hall ready for anything. However, I couldn't believe what I saw there. Kaufman has shrunk into the corner of the hall, as if he was driven there. One of the walls is covered with disgusting splatter, and is already dead on the floor. Oh my god, everyone's fucking dead already. Upon seeing his injury, I sank to the ground. I sat with my legs crossed and the hard tile floor at a loss. On the hard tile floor, at a loss as to what to do. That girl was walking around and destroying everything she sees with the gun. However, that girl is not here now. I bury my face in my hands. I thought, please kill me soon, as each of the people in the town are killed. I don't want to be the last. What? Last one. Please kill me soon. What? With my eyes closed, I prayed hard and wished for that, and then the girl came. The low sound of a motor and the chime announced her arrival. The doors slowly opened and closed. After stepping off the elevator, the girl walked over me and stood there. I was able to tell who the girl was without even raising my head. Daddy? I could not hold back my overflowing tears. I placed my palms on my face and cried out, Cheryl, why? Why are you doing this? My unintelligible voice resonated with the walls of the hall. Daddy, I looked at Cheryl. I looked at Cheryl through the spaces between my fingers. In her small right hand, she held a black, solemn handgun, which was disproportionate to her size. I said, if you're going to kill me, then do it. Give me that handgun. Sorry. You daddy doesn't understand, but if you are going to kill me, then do it. I'm in agony to finally be reunited with you like this. With an expressionless face, Cheryl points the barrel of the gun at me. Hand it over to him now, Cheryl. That voice woke me up. A particularly hoarse voice. Dahlia. I could faintly see her standing in the darkness behind Cheryl. Dahlia. Dahlia did not move. She looked down on me and began to speak. It's terrible. The gods have passed judgment on you under the pretext of searching for your missing daughter. You were unable to get her back. What are you saying? Dahlia taps Cheryl's shoulders and Cheryl holds out the handgun. Daddy, isn't this yours? It was dropped here. I remained seated and then I reached out and took the handgun without knowing why. My handgun? I hurriedly checked my pockets. The handgun was definitely missing. It doesn't appear that you have realized it yet. I carefully studied the gun I was holding. This is definitely the gun I received from Sybil. 1 round is chambered in the gun. Wait, there's 1 round in the gun. 1 round. dream recollection. This is the antique shop. Sybil heads to the altar at the end of the passage. I follow her without making any footstep sounds. Sybil doesn't notice me. I strangle her from behind. I push her down to the floor. I press the gun I'm holding to the base of her neck and forcefully pull the trigger. What is this? Hospital. I leave the examination room, yes. To get the oil heater? No. Instead, I return to the room. Lisa was surprised. I grab her long blonde hair. Her scream and the gunshot occur at the same time. Terrible headache. I cannot take it and run out into the corridor. I run into a man that was surprised by the gunshot and has come out of a room. He sees what I have in my right hand. He sees the red stain on my clothes. I persistently chase him. I look at his back as he runs away. He's a fool. That Kaufman. There's a dead end ahead. You have nowhere left to run to. He sank to the floor in the corner of the hall. What a pathetic end. I placed my right leg on his shoulder. A piercing voice. It looks like you've remembered. Dahlia's piercing voice penetrates my eardrums. Something snaps within me. Dahlia, I cannot speak through my tears. Cheryl clings to Dahlia and stares fixedly at me. She appears to be frightened. Silence. It is strange that my daughter would cling to a woman that she has just met. Even as I shared the same time and space with them, they felt completely like people from another dimension. If you're going to kill me, if you're going to kill me, then you should do it. No one is left in this town. This town is dead, Dahlia. The ash still continues to fall, even now, on the roof and walls of this decrepit hospital, on the houses. A merciless source of white coal falls. Or grey. I fly into the sky. I what? I look down on the town wrapped in thick smog. It is going far away. I spread out my arms and climb even higher. This feels good. It's invigorating. If I close my eyes, I feel that I would rise all the way to space. On top of the desk, Cheryl has watered the dandelions that have bloomed in the garden. My body is, in my distant consciousness, my entire body trembles. I'm holding a gun in my right hand, lying face down on the desk in my study. I will never move ever again. Calm sunlight. A gentle breeze blows in from the window. Cheryl? Wait. So, he shot himself in his study and like all of that happened in his head? Is that what it's saying? What? Is that what happens? Oh my god, what the fuck? It's amazing. I want to do the Sybil story. That is such a cool game. It's like, it, I guess it wouldn't be as cool if like Silent Hill didn't exist on PS1, because it would just be like kind of like who are these people. But having played Silent Hill, it's like really really cool. I only got one trading card. What, like, do you have to like unlock every single like every single bit of the story to like to get all the trading cards in the game? Probably. I bet like these videos take up most of the space on the cartridge. All right. So I can take. So I should be able to do the. Do I have to pick this? It says continue. Introduction to the beginning of the nightmare. Caution. In a while. What do you do here? Hold on. Do you click new game? No. Don't. I guess continue. And then there we go. Now I can choose Sibyl. Let's go. Hello. The phone had suddenly gone dead. She tried to call back right away. However, the call would not go through. Perfect. I wonder what is going on. Her co-worker, Sally, saw Sibyl's flushed face and could not help making a joke. It's because you're so hostile. I bet they just don't want to talk to you anymore. Hostile? Perhaps. After all, I do always say what's on my mind. Saying this, Sybil smiled. The peaceful town of Brahms. The population is small, and perhaps for this reason, there has not been an incident worth calling an incident for several years. As for the officers on the night shift, they generally pass the time by staring at newspaper clippings or chatting with colleagues at other departments. Even now, with nothing notable appearing in the local news, Sybil was just having meaningless conversations about this and that with a friend in the Silent Hill Police Department. But then suddenly the line had gone dead, and they had not called back. The call won't go through. Maybe this is happening because someone is trying to tell you not to waste all your time chatting. How about settling down and taking your feet off the desk? Sybil does not care for Sally's big sister-like attitude. This is so weird. Like, the intro to Silent Hill actually contains a bunch of cutscenes from the game, but also some of them are not in the game. Like some of them never appear in the game. So like, I wonder if at one point it would have been planned that they'd have all this stuff in it. Like this, like they have this entire render where uh, Sybil is, you know, sitting on like some kind of a bench or something, and then gets up and then walks away. It's in the intro of Silent Hill, but like it never actually appears anywhere in the game. So I wonder if it's meant to just be in the intro as its own thing to tell you that that might be happening, or like there was a plan to add that to the game. I wonder. I don't know. I'm kind of curious if this was meant to be in the game. Sybil calls the Silent Hill police station one more time. Odd, Sybil thought. It seems as if this might be the result of the telephone lines having been severed, or something. Sybil leaps from her chair, causing it to spin. That's a chair? It looks like a bench. Reaches for the helmet on top of the locker, and with it in hand, prepares to leave the room. Wait, just where do you think you're going at this hour? Sally has a look of you've got to be kidding on her face, and then she absent-mindedly allows the coffee cup she was holding in her right hand to fall to the floor. Ah, halt! You can take care of that yourself. Sybil mumbles this in her head, and in the next moment ran out of the room. Sybil straddles the motorcycle in the garage, inserts the key, and revs the engine. Vroom, vroom, vroom. The sound of the exhaust resonates in the small space. She pulls out onto the road and increases her speed as she's bathed from head to toe in the uncomfortably warm wind. Warm wind? Starlight falls upon her from the clear starlit sky. It doesn't look like the weather could have caused a problem with the phone lines. Sybil tightly holds onto the handlebars and continues to increase her speed. At this hour, there should not be any other cars heading to Silent Hill. The road has been lit in front and behind only by street lamps since she reached this mountain road, and there's no sign of anyone in the area. However, after a while, she was able to see the tail lights of a vehicle swaying far off in the darkness in front of her. There's a cliff on the side of the road. Whether they realize that or not, the vehicle is heading towards the small destination as Sybil at high speed. Normally, I would pull this guy over, Sybil mutters as increases her speed and catches up with the four-wheel drive Jeep in no time. As she passes it, Sybil glances inside the Jeep for a moment, quickly smiles, and then blasts in front of it. The Jeep quickly becomes smaller and smaller in the side mirrors of her motorcycle. And then she started to notice that she could not keep her eyes focused. Sleepiness? No, I have been on the night shift for a while and should have gotten plenty of sleep this afternoon. Her body becomes one with the motorcycle, and it slices through the darkness. Maybe it was just foolish to wear short sleeves, although it was rather warm when Sybil left the station. Now her skin feels so cold that it's like the cold is cutting into her. Her eyelids are heavy, her mouth has become dry. What's wrong with me? She lightly shakes her head left and right. Against her will, her right hand turns the grip that will cause her to accelerate. The needle is buried and madly shakes back and forth. Sybil then stares straight forward. But it was already too late. In the middle of the road, a girl stood with her arms raised to shield her from the light. Sybil slammed on the brakes. The last thing she saw was the rapidly approaching rock wall on the side of the road. Hita, Hita. Something cold is touching Sybil's cheek. Sybil slowly opened her eyes. Where am I? She is not yet able to stand up. She does not seem to be hurt. However, her body will not do as she commands. Nevertheless, she is fully conscious. Large ash flakes are falling all over her body. She is lying face down in the middle of the wide street. I wonder, how long have I been out? I wonder how long have I been here like this? After waiting for the nerves throughout her body to return to normal, Sybil lumbered to her feet. Her body was sluggish, like when she wakes up and she was unable to think straight. Soylent Hill. That is what is written on the sign on the sidewalk. In addition to the out-of-season ash, the area is enveloped in thick fog, which generally makes her destination look differently than normally. That makes her destination look differently than it normally would. The motorcycle that she came here on was also nowhere to be found. With nothing else to do, she decided to rest in the cafe facing the street. The inside of the cafe is dead silent. She does not see any customers or employees. This destroys her hopes of getting something warm to drink, so she lets out a sigh. First, I must get in contact with the other officers back in Brahms. Sybil picks up the receiver from the phone on the corner of the counter, but not a single sound can be heard from the speaker. It seems like somehow the heavy snowfall, which could be called abnormal weather, was damaged. The communication systems, there's what I mean is like ashfall, heavy ashfall, which could be called abnormal weather, has damaged the communication systems, and there's no doubt that this is the reason why the call got cut off at Brahms station. Sybil looks around the side of the cafe. She gasps without thinking about it. She can see a man lying down on one of the long bench seats lined up along the windows. A customer? No, this place isn't open. She moves near him. Right? Is that what it said? She moves near him and looks down at his sleeping face. His sleeping, stupid fucking face. His face is twisting in stupidness, as if he is having a frightening, stupid dream. Sybil hesitates. She waits for the man to wake up. She wakes the man up. Get the fuck up. Holds her arms out in a way that suggests that she is going to shake his shoulders. At that moment, the man woke up with a look of surprise on his face. He shook his body in a way to brush Sybil's hands away, and then stared at her. American? Are you American? Sybil makes an effort to compose herself and then sits down on a nearby chair. Of course I am. Were you having a bad dream or something? The man finally regains his composure as well, and then adjusts his position on the bench seat. Sorry, I was attacked by mysterious monsters before I came here. Mysterious monsters? Yeah, it may have been just a dream. I think it wasn't real. It was all vague and unclear. Who are you? I'm Sybil Bennett. I'm a police officer in the neighboring town of Brahms. All communications with this town suddenly went dead. So I came here to investigate. Harry's expression changed slightly to one of relief. I should have said so sooner, but I am Harry Mason. I'm a writer. I had decided to come here for my first vacation in a while. Harry shrugged his shoulders and looked at Sybil with a serious look on his face. But when I arrived here, I got separated from my daughter. She's a little girl, 7 years old, with black hair. Her name is Cheryl. You haven't seen her, have you? Sorry, but I haven't. I see. Just where did she go? She's not the type to just act on her own. When I came to, I was lying in the street in front of the cafe. As for how I got here, I don't remember at all. That sounded a lot like what happened to me. Well, anyway, Harry stands up and glances at the out-of-season ash that continues to fall. I've got to look for Cheryl. There's no way I can just leave her here alone. I see. Well, I'll give you this then. You never know what might happen under these circumstances. If you feel threatened, then pull the trigger without hesitating. She gives Harry a handgun loaded with live ammunition. But you will be alright. But will you be alright? Harry asks worriedly. I'm not like the average girls around here. I have undergone the proper training. Sybil placed her hand on the exit door, but then she turned and faced Harry again. Harry, don't go shooting me by mistake or anything. Haven't had any training on how to stop bullets. She smiled after saying this and opened the door of the cafe and then headed out into the thick smog. Sybil looks back and sees that the idiot in the cafe has disappeared into the smog. Having lost her motorcycle, Sybil can only wander about on foot and alone. The eerie town. It's too quiet. There's no sense of anyone at all. I would like to hail a taxi or something, but there's not a single car running. No, I haven't seen the Barbie movie. At some point, Sybil had begun to run. Above all, she must get out of Soylent Hill. However, after running for a bit, Sybil's hopes were crushed. All the roads leading out of town were cut off, and it was as if the entire town was floating in the air. There was no way for anyone to enter the town. Ha! Sybil sighs deeply. She then decides to try going back the way she came. After running for a bit, she comes to another steep valley. Like before, it is wide and impedes her passage. And then she became sure that it was not possible to escape from this place. Sybil felt like a bird in a cage as she walked apathetically and aimlessly through the falling ash. It was not long before a black, wriggling object appeared in her field of vision. What? What is that? From off in the smog, the four-legged thing moved at a slow pace as it gradually closed the distance between it and her. And then, as soon as it detected Sybil, it began to ferociously run toward her, scattering the smog as it moved. The monster attacked Sybil. It just ran away. The monster just moves right past Sybil and then continues away from her. Clearly it is headed somewhere with some purpose. Various concerns run through the back of Sybil's mind. Instinctively, she begins to chase after the monster. However, its speed is fast, and it does not appear to be possible for Sybil to be able to catch up to it. Additionally, the thick curtain of smog is also making her pursuit difficult. Sybil continues to run for a while, but ends up completely losing sight of the target. She stops and leans against the antique lamppost and presses on her chest. She waits as the time between her continuous white breaths gradually increases and then begins walking again. Sybil calms herself down. Let's calm herself. Being unable to escape from Soylent Hill, Sybil then worried about what she should do next. Since all the people have vanished, she cannot even talk to anyone about what is happening here. I should look for the police station, even if the person was I was talking on the phone with earlier isn't there. I might be able to get some other information there. She has visited this town many times. Following the thread of her memory, she begins walking along the complicated intersecting streets. Just how long have I been walking? As she saw the word police appear from out of the fog, her entire body was completely exhausted. She opens the glass door at the entrance and heads inside. As she does this, she sees that no one is here, which is just as she had expected. The lack of any sound is painful to her ears. After she walked around the reception area for a bit, she moved toward the room that the door had been left open for. The plate beside the door says meeting room. Compared to the same room at the Bram station, this one is quite small. She looked around the room. Ah, the phone is off the hook. Someone is here. I think this is like an important choice here. But I'm just gonna go with like that one. Two long simple folding tables are lined up next to each other in this room, which is about 140 square feet in size. Whatever whoever's feet those are, I don't know. No one has 140 feet. Folding chairs surround the tables. The disorderly state of the chairs makes the empty station seem unnatural. The telephone is on top of the small wooden desk that has been placed in the corner of the room. The telephone receiver is dangling in the air just above the floor, as it had fallen off. It is bouncing up and down. I wonder if this is the phone that was connected to. I was connected to. Sybil hangs the receiver up, but then picks it back up again and places it against her ear. Of course it is not working. The problem is that the police station is completely empty. Even Sybil, who had been skeptical about the condition of the town up to this point, now had to accept things as they were. She thought something terrible has happened here. There's a phone. A scribbled memo has been placed next to it. 38 something 2647 something. Oh, for fuck's sake, what was it again? 384. Was it 3? Oh, for fuck's sake. It was 384 something. Fuck, what was? Oh my god. Hold on, let me just reload it. Fuck. Let's see. 38 something 2647 something. Is it gonna be the same number always? I wonder. How do you call? Is it the wrong number, or was it supposed to do like a space? What? I'm confused. Oh, hold on, this doesn't make sense because like there's one number missing. Oh, hold on. Something 2647. Oh right, okay, never mind, I'm an idiot. 38. So it's not 7. It's okay, so it could be 1 5 9. Either 1 5 or 9. But it could be like any of those, I guess. Okay, so like, for fuck's sake. 3 8 5 2847 2647 2647 5. No, 3 8 5 2647. This is pretty shit. Nope. 3 8 5. Fuck. Fuck! What? The fuck are you doing? Oh, it resets it? Are you fucking kidding me? It fucking resets it. That's ridiculous. 3 8 5 2 6 4 7 2 6 4 7. What else could it be? So it can be a 1 as well. Okay, 1. Nope. 3 8 5 How am I supposed to figure this out? Is it gonna be the same number? What if both are 1? So it's like 3, 8. Wait, no. 3. Yeah, 3, 8. Fuck. 3, 8. 1, 2, 6, 4, 7, 1. Nope. Oh, for fuck's sake. 3, 8, 1, 2. Fuck! God damn it. Ah, I just hate this. 3, 8, 1, 2, 6, 4, 7, 9. 3, 8, 9. 2, 6, 4, 7, 9. No. I could all. Oh fuck's sake! It could also be 0. Oh my fucking god. 3. Or wait, you literally just have to wait a second. There's a. Oh my god! There's a fucking. Okay, never mind. This is not actually a puzzle. You just type in the fucking number with asterisk. I didn't realize you could do that. I thought I would have to like figure out the numbers. God damn it. Sybil hastily repositioned the telephone receiver. Daddy? Cheryl? This is Cheryl, right? I'm looking for you. Can you hear me? Help me. The telephone is muddled, so Sybil cannot hear it very clearly. Cheryl, I am coming to help you now. Tell me where you are. In the elementary school. The phone went dead. Okay. What was all that all about? Sybil left the police station. Sybil is once again in the city streets where the ash is falling. That's right. Sybil recalled her conversation with Harry. Oh yeah, Sybil. You haven't seen a little girl in this town, have you? A little girl? Yes, Cheryl. I wonder if I will be able to rescue her unharmed in this town which become a nest of monsters. But Sybil is a police officer. To find and protect Cheryl is her responsibility and her mission. Realizing this, Sybil could not sit still, and in the next moment she was gone. There should be an elementary school on the edge of town. Sybil followed her intuition and decided that Cheryl probably headed for the school after wandering around town. But her training in child psychology, she has learned that if a child loses their parents or guardian, then the chance is high that they will be drawn to places that they are most used to going, places where there are a lot of people. However, ahead of her, all knowledgeable, either a bit instinctively or due to sense of similar that of a memory coming back, she believed somewhere within her heart that Cheryl was probably at the elementary school. Sybil may have been drawn here by someone. As she nears the elementary school, part of her shirt becomes soaked with clammy sweat. Is it really okay to go inside? She asks herself this many times. She reached the edge of the school grounds. Her of duty. Conscientious? 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 Or conscientious? At first I thought it was like conscious sense. And it's like, looks like a more complicated version of this. Conscientious, I guess. Conscientious sense of duty as a police officer rose up within her along with her sense of reason. What? Conscientious? Conscientious sense. Oh god. And she began to walk naturally towards the school. It is now too late for her to turn back. She readies herself, and then using both hands she pushes the door in front of her open with all her strength. The ancient building reeked of a peculiar mildew. However, its insides were much cleaner than she had expected, and Sybil found this a bit surprising. Perhaps it was just the result of her enduring the cold wind for so long, but she had a terrible headache. Sybil pressed her fingers to her temples. Temples? And eventually began to walk aimlessly again. Sybil opened the door leading a long hallway. She looked through the glass windows placed in the doors of the classrooms while slowly walking. There was no sign of Cheryl. The courtyard is to her right. The landscaping is very nice and has been well cared for. The snow has become, the ash has become sleet. It does not look like it will accumulate in the back of the courtyard. There's an old feeling clock tower. However, Sybil is not particularly interested in it. I wonder how Harry's doing. I wonder if the gun I gave him has come in handy. If I cannot meet with Harry after I find Cheryl, then it will be meaningless. We should have made plans to rendezvous somewhere. Sybil thought this, but at this point nothing could be done. At any rate, there was her horrible headache. It is gradually getting worse, dulling her sense of time and space. A sluggishness similar to sleepiness grasps her entire body. Perhaps I'm just dreaming all of this, Sybil thought. It is difficult for a person to tell whether they are dreaming or not while in a dream, but for her to accept these conditions is just as difficult. She has no memory of how she got to this town, so it seemed natural for her to think that she has been in a deep sleep since the moment of the motorcycle accident until now, or possibly from even before then, from the time of the phone call with the Soylent Hill police station, or maybe while contemplating the many possibilities. Sybil climbed the stairs to the second floor of the school. And then she heard a melody played on a piano. She heard the scream of a little girl. Let's go for the scream. Suddenly, Sybil heard the scream of a little girl from in front of her. What? A nervous look ran across Sybil's face. Cheryl? A scream. That could mean... However, there was also a feeling of relief deep inside Sybil's heart. The presence of another human, another American potentially, someone else who could sympathize with her about this isolated world. Sybil begins to run. It doesn't matter to her whose voice that was, and she runs down the long hallway praying that they are okay. And as she approached a certain room, Sybil noticed something, the figure of a person, something at her feet. Through a small window in the door, Sybil thought that she saw a small figure swaying back and forth. She stops moving. This is music room. That is written on the door. She opens the door without hesitation and rushes into the room. You. In the corner of the room, a white-faced girl was sitting still, and just looking at Sybil, she appeared to be afraid of something, and her wide eyes were filled with tears that looked like jewels. "Were you the one that screamed?" The little girl does not answer. Sybil swallows and looks at the little girl again. "Cheryl? Are you Cheryl?" Sybil regained her composure and approached the little girl. She kneeled and softly placed her hands on her girl's shoulders, and the girl nodded. "My name is Sybil. Your daddy is... What? Didn't end the quotation mark. My name is Sybil. Your daddy is looking for you. If we don't hurry back to him, your daddy is braving danger running around this town. Have you seen that ferocious looking monster?" What? Oh, Sybil! I'm an idiot. Okay, never mind. God. I don't know why. Okay, never mind. I didn't say anything. My name is Sybil. Your daddy is looking for you. For some reason I thought Cheryl was saying it. I don't know why. My name is Sybil. Your daddy is looking for you. If we don't hurry back to him, your daddy is braving danger running around this town. Have you seen that ferocious looking monster? Cheryl shakes her head no. Cheryl shakes her head yes. We're gonna do no. We're safe. I see. Well, at any rate, something strange is happening in this town. All the people have completely vanished, and if we don't get out of here soon, then we might disappear as well. Once again, Cheryl shakes her head. No. Sybil does not understand what Cheryl means. What? Yeah. But continues anyway. I will protect you. Let's go to your daddy. It is my duty to take you to him. Saying this, Sybil takes Cheryl's hand in hers, and they leave the music room. By chance, the two of them happen to look out the window. That's from where they are. What? That's what? From where they are, the visible courtyard has become completely enveloped in darkness. For it to become night so soon. For a moment, Sybil cannot believe her eyes, but then she was only able to worry about whether she would be able to meet Harry. The two of them walk down the pitch-black hallway. Because of the difference in their strides, their footsteps overlap as they echo. At the moment they approach the entrance to the school grounds, Cheryl spoke directly for the first time. I don't want to leave here. I don't want to see my daddy. If we meet, there will be sadness. You should go back, ma'am. Sybil stopped walking and spoke while just staring at Cheryl. It's your daddy. There's no reason that it would be sad for you to see him. If you stay here, then you might get hurt or worse. Things would then be truly sad. Saying that, Sybil begins walking, and after a bit she stops and adds, It's miss and not ma'am. And then the two of them left the school. Just what time is it now? Sybil curses the fact that she forgot her watch at the Brahms station. It is possibly late at night. She no longer feels the headache or sleepiness from just before. Holding Cheryl's cold hand, Sybil focuses her mind on locating Harry. She figured that Harry was no longer in the cafe, but wonders if maybe he left a memo or something there for her. Compared to Harry, Sybil should know the geography of Soylent Hill better because of her profession. However, because of the darkness and thick fog that limit her field of vision, she is in a situation in which it is difficult to know even her current position. She had encountered a strange monster on her way to the school, so now she did not have much confidence in being able to find her way back to the cafe. The sky began to get light while Sybil walked and contemplated the route to the cafe. This made her think that perhaps time is rapidly passing in this town alone, although the fog was present as ever to decrease visibility. She could see a lot better now. And then, before she knew it, the cafe was right in front of her. Why is it bright again? Something isn't right. Sybil feels a sense of discord with her. However, her feet continued on, as if guided by a strong power, to inside the cafe. Sybil led Cheryl through the entrance of the cafe. The inside of the cafe had been ravaged. The glass window facing the street were broken. Several tables were knocked on their sides, so Sybil could not move any further in. Oh my god, I wonder if Harry's alright. A red pool of liquid reflects vividly on Sybil's eyes. She prayed that it was not Harry's blood. Harry, it's me. It's Sybil. I found Cheryl. If you are here, then please come out. There's no answer. Sybil had begun to step forward and then gasped with an "ah." Just what is this? The corpse of a brown-colored monster that Sybil has never seen before lies in the center of the pool of red liquid. Several shells were scattered about, which meant that Harry probably had a battle here. Since Harry was no longer here, she guessed that he defeated this monster and then left to search for Cheryl. Is he hurt? Sybil began to search the area, cautiously moved towards the monster. Sybil cautiously searched the monster. There's no doubt about it, the bullets lodged inside the monster body were the ones loaded into the handgun that she had given Harry. Normally these should have gone all the way through. The bullets told a tale about the endurance of the hardness of the monster. The bullets scattered about on the floor supported this as they gave Sybil the feeling that they had just hit the hard skin of the monster and then bounced off. Other than this, there did not appear to be anything else out of the ordinary. Well, your daddy is not here. Let's look someplace else. Sybil took Cheryl's hand, and without a word, they rushed out into the snowy street once again. Ding dong. A church bell is ringing. The bell rings forcefully, almost as if it had been waiting for them to leave the cafe. There are still other people here. Sybil's eyes glittered. This might be Harry's way of telling me where he is. And even if it is not Harry, if there's someone still here in town, then she would like to meet them and hear what they have to say. Sybil's feet naturally pointed toward the church, expecting to find a clue to escaping and reuniting with Harry. She tightly gripped Cheryl's hand and began to run. Once they arrived at the church, the ringing stopped, and the large door opened. Sybil then thought that perhaps someone had been watching her movements all this time. She looked up at the top of the church and then began to look around nervously until a voice saying "this way" brought her back to her senses. Sybil faced the eerie woman from a distance. The woman once more called out to Sybil, "This way." Sybil mysteriously moved towards the woman. "Were you the one ringing that bell? Cuckoo. Onomatopoeia for a chuckle. Huh? 'Cause everyone is a weeb." The woman's face suddenly twisted, and she began laughing loudly. She saw Sybil's perplexed expression, but thought nothing of it, and just waved her hand left and right in front of Sybil's face. "I have been waiting for you. You have come just as I expected." Sybil cocked her head to the side. "Do you live here?" The woman nodded and then looked at Cheryl. "You have done well to come here, you know. Don't you? That is my doing that caused. And you were hesitant to come alone, weren't you? But in the end I was able to meet you. It is all thanks to that woman." "I don't understand what you're talking about." Sybil's words may or may not have reached her, but that woman began to laugh loudly again. "Hey, tell me, why are there no people here? Why are all the exits from town blocked?" "I do not know either, but shouldn't you be asking that girl instead?" Sybil had a look of what on her face. She looked at Cheryl. Cheryl's face was tearful, and she shook her head back and forth. Yeah, what's up, Ash guys? How's it going, dude? Sybil looked back at the woman and shouted at her. Stop all this nonsense. We have been pursued by monsters and nearly killed. If I was not protecting this child, then who knows what would have happened to her by now. The path of the wise men, the fool guided to this land through astrology. Everything has been preordained. There is nothing that I can do. You are not holding that child's hand. That child is holding yours. Her anger showing, Sybil went to open her mouth, but at that moment the woman blocked her. I am Dahlia Gillespie. With that in hand, I wonder where you will end up going. I have nothing for you, and nothing to tell you. You must escape from the demon's grasp as soon as possible. You must find the means to do so for your own sake. There's nothing I can do now. I will pray for your safety, Sybil Bennett. Sybil was shocked to be called by name. As she watched Dahlia quickly depart, she was unable to speak. After Dahlia disappeared behind the door, Sybil regained herself. She tightly held Cheryl's hand and they left the church. Right after they left the church, Cheryl began to speak. Hey, miss, I'm fine by myself now. This is not my first time coming here, and I have met that lady we just saw before. Sybil stops in surprise. What do you mean? I have a place that I want to go, but I can only go alone. If you are with me, I won't be able to go, and then something terrible is sure to happen. Something terrible? Why? Your daddy is looking for you. Until I get you back to your daddy, I cannot leave your side. You're wrong. My daddy must not find me. Someone is waiting for me. In order to meet that person, Sybil let out a short sigh. She snaps at and scolds Cheryl. She kindly admonishes Cheryl. Sybil seems like a kind person, usually. Hey, wait, come on, Cheryl. Sybil made an effort to calmly end Cheryl's speaking. You must have just had a bad dream or something, but something more frightening is actually occurring in this town. Come on, please take my hand. Cheryl placed her small hand into Sybil's palm. I'll protect you no matter what, so you're safe, okay? Once more, Sybil began to walk down the smoggy street with Cheryl in tow. At first, Cheryl resisted, holding Sybil's hand as hard as she could, but once she realized this was futile, she reluctantly followed along behind Sybil while wiping away her tears. Cheryl muttered something to that, so that it could not be heard. Goodbye. No, let's go. After walking for a bit, the two of them started to notice that the murmuring of water had begun to interfere with their conversation. Ah! Cheryl stopped walking. Water was splashing from the strong current in the old aqueduct through the white smog. Due to the bad weather, the water level had risen up to the fortified concrete embankment. So rather than aqueduct, it was more like an overflowing river that was in a dangerous state. What's that? A girl's drowning, a boy's drowning. A boy's drowning. The boy stood alone in the current. He was fighting the current and appeared to be holding onto the fragile protrusion with all his might. Miss, look! Cheryl screamed, broke away from Sybil's hand, and then began to run toward the boy. Cheryl, that's dangerous! Sybil instantly chased after her. A stone barrier runs parallel to the aqueduct. It is about shoulder width and about the height of a normal adult child. Falling to the right from this barrier could result in injury, and falling to the left would probably result in being swallowed by the current. Cheryl nimbly ran along the top of the narrow barrier. Wait, that is dangerous. Her words were ineffective. Using her what? Using her innate physical prowess, Sybil got on top of the barrier. However, she could not run along it as nimbly as Cheryl. Why not just run along it with the fucking, like, what? Why would you get on top of it? By the time Sybil caught up to Cheryl, she was lying prone on top of the barrier and reaching out towards the embankment, trying to grasp the boy's hair. That's dangerous. You will fall in. It's too much for you. We will save this boy. Help me, miss, please. Sybil lightly jumps down onto the embankment side, and again surprised by the strength of the current, Cheryl is leaning out halfway and looks as if she could fall at any moment and be swallowed by the dark water. Cheryl, you stay right there and don't move. I will be sure to save him. Cheryl says nothing and just stares at Sybil. Sybil's footing is quickly being eaten away by the strong current. As long as ash continues to pour into the entire town, the aqueduct will certainly continue to overflow. The water is up to Sybil's knees. As the water pulls at her legs, Sybil reaches her hand out toward the boy. The boy's face is covered in the white splashes, so Sybil cannot see it very well. Everything is alright, don't worry. Sybil shouts out to give the boy hope. The boy just appears to be caught on the protrusion like a rag, and perhaps that is the best way to describe it. Sybil eventually grasps the boy's left arm and is relieved a little. Everything is fine, trust me, Sybil says kindly. However, the current of the water is faster than she had imagined. Pulling the boy against the current will not be easy. There's nowhere to grab on, so she cannot put any strength into it. The freezing cold is robbing her body of its warmth, and her fingertips are going numb. Miss, it is impossible. You too will be swept away by the current. Cheryl calls out to Sybil from behind. Sybil has a maternal feeling that she must save this boy, even if it means she will end up getting swept away. He will be okay. Just a little more. Got it. Sybil gets a firm grasp on the boy's arm and then successfully pulls his small body up. Ah, great. Are you okay? The boy does not answer right away and just takes troubled breaths over and over. It is not surprising because he just nearly drowned. The boy remained crouched for a bit, but then finally began to speak. You were the one that pushed me in. From seeing the look of surprise on Sybil's face, the boy changed his words. Not you, her. It was that child. The boy rushes at Cheryl. Before Sybil could even think to stop him, the boy grabbed Cheryl's arm and pulled her towards the current. What are you doing? Stop it now. What do you know? Why don't you tell her to stop? Andy. I think that's the boy. That's like the missing scenario. Cheryl falls into the water and begins to be swept away by the strong current. She would have to question the boy later. Sybil stumps as she runs along the concrete to keep up with Cheryl. Cheryl! Sybil's weak shouts were replaced by the sound of the water splashing. She slips and ends up in the whirlpool of the strong current and is swallowed in the dark water along with Cheryl. What the fuck? Everything is dark. There's not a single sound. Sybil cannot tell whether her eyes are open or closed. The hand gripping Sybil's hand suddenly moved. I may have used you, miss. Sybil made a face like, what? And immediately asked, what are you saying? That's why I was against it. You're a good person, so I didn't want to get you wrapped up in this. But in the end, I have made you suffer. I guess that is the same thing as getting you involved. Sybil smiles. I have said it many times, but it is my job to get you back to your father's custody. Getting me involved or whatnot is not a problem. You're wrong, miss. Silence flows between the two of them. As for what Daddy will do, and so on, those are issues that do not even compare to what I am dealing with, my own personal issue. It's something that it should never ever tell anyone. Something very important. I have thought about it for so long. I have been confused by it for so long. However, maybe I can tell you about it, miss. The reason why there is no one in town, the reason why I don't want to see my daddy, and also my true? Once again, there's silence. Your true? Your true what? Do you know something? However, that question is not answered. And then the low sound of a motor runs through the floor and causes a slight quiver in Sybil's stomach. To her front, she has only a glimpse of a single shaft of light. The light thinly extends up and down and eventually expands to the left and right, revealing a small room. It is an elevator. The elevator doors have opened wide, and it sits ready almost as if it has come for Sybil. Sybil and the girl are by its light. And then Sybil felt the grip of the girl that she was holding on to become weak. No, wait, an illusion. No, the two of us are definitely holding hands. Sybil looked toward the girl. Her entire body was paralyzed with the chill. Powerlessly, Sybil sank down in that very spot. Her vision is hazy. The color drains from her entire body. The girl is not there in the light. The thing that Sybil is holding onto it is... Sybil suppressed a shriek. This is a green gel-like object. What? It was a slightly dirty but familiar doll. Countless blue fireworks went off in front of Sybil's eyes. Memories of a past, unforgettable memories, memories that should have been tightly sealed away within her. She was holding the doll tightly. Sybil had hidden in the closet through the crack, a familiar scene, her parents shot in the head, and the blood-soaked carpet, the low laugh of a man. She held the doll over her mouth to suppress the urges to scream that assaulted her from time to time, and so she had somehow survived. She had survived. Why is this doll from that time here? Why is it here? It was the reason she became a policewoman. That incident had largely impacted her future. Cheryl was gone, and all that was left was the unpleasant feeling of memories she thought that she had forgotten. I'm losing my mind. She sobbed alone inside the elevator. The town, along with the lives of several people, had been swallowed up with the devil's dark garb. Inside the small box, she calmed her breathing while shaking her shoulders hard. First of all, I should look for Harry, and then work with him to escape from this wretched world. Quite a bit of time passed since the eye lamp had gone out on the floor. Since the L lamp or I lamp had gone out on the floor. No, it's the L. Yeah, the L lamp had gone out on the floor display. From the vibrations she could tell that she was descending, but even still, this had gone on for too long. Staring at the display of the B1, she had pushed her back against the wall and slumped. Is there something in the basement of its building, deep in the ground? And if Sybil was brought here, then what was the reason? Eventually the elevators begin to gradually slow its descent. And at the same time that it comes to a complete stop, the B1 lamp lights up. And oh, the one lamp is in like floor 1, okay, I get it. And then its doors open. Sybil dully felt this series of movements. With the doors open, the light that illuminates the passage that extends in front of her in her pours into the elevator. As Sybil begins to walk forward, it almost looks like that light is supporting her from behind. It is cold, although she is just walking down a corridor. That is like one in a jail. Sybil's heart beats irregularly. Eventually a single door appears. The passage ends with this door. Perhaps the mysteries of B1 will lie in this room? I didn't want to get you wrapped up in this. The voice of the girl flitted about in the back of Sybil's mind. What was the girl's goal, and where is Harry? Perhaps Harry has come here in the same manner as well? Or she had a feeling that by opening this door, the many questions whirling about in her head would all be put to rest. Sybil summoned forth her courage and placed her hand on the door. Ah, it is hot, and Sybil immediately takes her hand off the knob. There's no knob, that's actually a handle. Something is burning beyond this door. It is impossible to open this door by hand. Just from touching the door, the palm of Sybil's hand stingingly hurts. She kicks the door with all her might. With a hopeful feeling, she continues to kick the door over and over with the thick sole of her boot. Finally, the knob breaks and the door forcefully opens inward. At the same time, hot wind stinges Sybil's hair. And then Sybil sighed. The room is about as large as a movie theater. Fire has spread all throughout, and it has begun to collapse. Beyond the debris and flames, a man is holding something to his chest and heading towards another exit in order to get out. And just as he reached the exit, the vigorously burning flames lit the side of his face. It was unmistakably Harry, an unfamiliar man. It was Harry. And it was an unmistakable Harry. Harry! Sybil's voice was a scream without backing away. She ran into the room, which had become hell-like. A piece of rubble enveloped in flames fell right in front. Kia! Sybil had fallen back on her behind, but instantly stood up and moved around the obstacle and proceeded further into the room. However, she had lost Harry. Harry! She once again yelled out in his name. Someone has collapsed at her feet. A girl dressed in white clothing is lying face down, and her back moves up and down along with her breathing. Sybil stops, kneels down, and plots her hand on the girl's shoulder. Are you okay? If you stay here, you will be burned to death. Hurry and get up. The girl just remains face down and does not even try to look up. Sybil forcefully lifts the girl's shoulders up, and then her face freezes. The girl is the one that she was just traveling with. The girl's name suddenly rises up within her memory. Cheryl! Cheryl, why are you here? Sybil carries Cheryl's small body and heads for the exit. Cheryl has suffered serious burns on her entire body. If they don't get out quickly, then not only Cheryl, but Sybil as well will be burned to ash. Black smoke rises from Cheryl's white clothing. The girl is just barely conscious, and her face is pale. Part of her hair is burned, and her is red and swollen. Sybil sheds tears. The sounds of explosions resound from all directions, and the floor shakes and rumbles. Sybil holds the burned girl close to protect her, and in order to save the faint... Yeah, the rye is red. In order to save the faint life in front of her, Sybil risks her own life. Sybil devotes herself completely to her current goal. and she considers this to be her duty. Sybil avoids debris as she heads towards the exit. At the same time, she thinks, the man she just saw, he seems to have just abandoned this girl. And if that is the case, Sybil finally arrives at the exit and places her foot on the white staircase that extends in front of her, and then she races up. From behind the loudest explosion yet occurs, a sea of fire is just behind Sybil and is closing in on her. As she climbs the long staircase, Sybil has the goal of reaching the light coming from above the ground, or perhaps she just senses that it is her last hope, so she runs stronger and faster up the stairs. Sybil glances down at Cheryl's face. And it's over. I mean, I wouldn't call it GBA. I don't know. This is the only one I have now. And I have been constantly speaking for 3 hours and 45 minutes, so I can't do another playthrough right now, but maybe another time we'll play it again. Oh god. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it really sucks that that was meant to be an expansion pack. Well, that wasn't an expansion pack for this, released only in Japan, obviously, because I mean the game is also only in Japan. But that was like a, like a downloadable expansion to this. That's apparently lost to time. It's like impossible to get. Okay, apparently the apparently the spring scenario was translated, so like one of the 4 scenarios, but like not all of them. But whatever. Apparently, it's like not that much, anyways. Yeah, this is an interesting game. It's really nice. Like really nice. Like enhances the game sort of. Adds more to it. Like it's like it. Like there are so many different outcomes you can get just by playing it and like choosing different options, because basically like depending on which options you choose, whenever you come to a crossroad, it will like the game will play out differently. Like I got a completely different ending than what Boris was getting earlier for the Sybil scenario. Did I get any cards? I didn't see that. I don't know. I probably did. I never even did this puzzle, dude. Why did I get that fucking puzzle? I never did that. I didn't have to do it. Maybe I could do like one more. But I'm not gonna like read everything. This is definitely the coolest GBA game I've ever played. I don't know how many like endings there are. So I get back to like where I was. Maybe. There's like there's a change here. This is like I think this is like one of the main turning points here. You can choose either to do the phone or someone is here, and it's Harry. He's gonna fire at Sybil. Fucking asshole. And then this completely changes the story, so they decide to like fucking go together now. So now they're both going to the fucking church together, and they meet Dahlia Gillespie for the first time. You are too late. My predictions are often correct, aka it was foretold by gyromancy. What are you getting at? I am Cheryl's guardian. I have a responsibility to protect her. Tell me where she is going. The hospital, but it is useless to follow after them. If you do not want to die, then you must leave this place. I'm Dahlia Gillespie, by the way. To increase the number of corpses, then do not disturb those girls, yes? Those girls? Before Dahlia finished speaking, Harry ran out of the church. Harry, wait! Sybil prepares to chase after him and looks back at Dahlia. Dahlia was there, trying to suppress a laugh. All Sybil saw was Dahlia's unsightly backside. In order to resurrect myself, I will need your body. Please understand this. I understand. That is why I came here. I came to see you. To think of those 7 years, I never once was able to get out of bed and couldn't even move. However, everything is going according to plan and I was able to be reunited with you. But they will come after us. What should we do? Let me take care of everything. Once Sybil caught up to Harry, he was having a difficult time breathing. Ah, ha, you alright? That woman, Dahlia or something. Harry placed one hand on his chest, stopped in the street and placed his other hand on the car. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that wasn't the first time that I met that woman. Long ago, I think, I met her somewhere. Harry says this and begins coughing. Harry, you don't look too good. Sybil, the air seems to have gotten thin here, or something. I just have to deal with it, Harry. Harry begins to talk again. Harry begins coughing violently. Cough, cough. Blood flows out from the spaces between the fingers of the hand, and Harry placed over his mouth. Harry wiped his hand and on his pants without surprise. It is nothing to worry about. Please don't look at me like that. But your pants are stained with black blood. Sybil stared at Harry's face. He looks lonely and even more worn down than when they first met at the cafe. Since coming here, my physical condition has been deteriorating. Once I realized this, I even found scratches all over my body. It's because all I am thinking of is Cheryl. That is why I am not feeling the pain. Saying that, Harry pulled one of his pant legs. Around his calf, there was a long dark red scar. It was a painful-looking wound. The one that would be impossible to ignore. Harry. Well, it's alright. A town in which ash is falling, the name Dahlia, and her daughter is with my daughter. The fact that they are together. He lifts his head and looks at Sybil. There's something that I think I know, but it's on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot remember it. Sybil softly places her hand on Harry's shoulder. You're tired, Harry. Let's rest for a while. Rest for a bit. Harry brushes Sybil's hand away and then begins walking while pressing one hand to his chest. Harry? Sybil once again follows behind Harry's frozen back. Unable to make out the letters on an old signboard, Sybil tries squinting. Alchemilla Hospital is written in faded paint. In this building, Cheryl and Dahlia's daughter are in here? Sybil. The hospital looks like ruins. And then eeriness is present. That makes one hesitant to even step inside. Sybil just happens to notice an object that looks like a pedestal next to the door. On top of it, plates of 4 different colors have been placed. Sybil reads the messages inscribed on the pedestal aloud. The chosen ones must be moved to the chosen place. Once the task is complete, the guidepost leading to chaos shall appear. Use the L and R buttons to select the plate. Use the D-pad to move the selected plate. Now, I don't know why this puzzle wasn't there the first time. Like for Harry, but I don't know. Okay, so fuck. Got him. Harry opened the door. Although they came as told, inside the hospital it is dark, and it seems that if one does not walk carefully, then they would stumble. Pictures hanging on the walls, withered plants on the receptionist's desk, and other furnishings can be faintly seen. Is your daughter really in this place? I don't know, but all we can do is trust that woman from before. We don't have any other clues. Harry spoke, not expecting a reply. He slowly turned the knob of a nearby door. It appears to be locked. He lets out a long sigh. Wait, Harry, let's split up and search. I will start from the top floor and search heading down. You start from the bottom, then we will meet up in the middle. That way we won't lose each other. Harry looked woeful. Sorry, I wish there was something I could do to thank you. Once we find your daughter, then you can take me out to dinner or something. Sybil smiled brightly. Sybil immediately began to run toward the wall at the end of the corridor like she was glitched out or something. Once she arrived on the third floor, which should be the top floor of the building, she caught her breath and then began to search for the girl. Sybil begins to walk along the concrete wall that is dimly lit by the outside light. Several doors are on the left and right of the passage. Each door has a 3-digit number plate on it, and without even looking inside, she can tell that they are hospital rooms. Cheryl, I find you. If you are there, come out. Your daddy is looking for you. Sybil's voice just reverberates and then fades into the air. She places her hand on the knob of one of the doors and turns it. It appears to be locked. Maybe Cheryl is in one of the rooms and locked it from the inside. But if Sybil's voice cannot reach her, just how should I search for Cheryl? That's it. Sybil thinks of something. If I use the key, use the hospital intercom. The hospital intercom. Most hospitals have a speaker installed in each room. A hospital of this site should definitely have such a thing installed. I'll head back to the reception area on the first floor and then look for the room with the intercom equipment. If something happens down there, then I can get help from Harry. To realize this after coming up to the third floor, Sybil races back down the stairs as she just ran up in order to return to the first floor. On her way down the stairs, Sybil heard footsteps as she was passing the second floor. Harry? The second floor is the same as the third. There is a central corridor with doors lined up on both walls. Harry? Is that you, Harry? There's a large window at the end of the hall. White light from the foggy outside is reflecting off the floor. Without realizing it, Sybil squinted, but someone is standing in front of the window. From the shape of the outline of the human visible in the darkness, Sybil can tell that it's not Harry. It looks like a girl. She can tell that it's Harry because it looks like a girl. Sybil just stared at the figure and was unable to move for a bit, just like a frog being stared down by a snake. All her movements were sealed. Cheryl? Who knows how long it was before she said that. The girl did not answer and began moving towards Sybil as if she was gliding. Slowly she continued moving towards Sybil. Eventually the girl twisted her body and jerked her right hand. She made her hand into a fist, created a large bullet of light, and then looked at Sybil. What? Watch out, Sybil. Get down. It is Harry's voice. At the moment, Sybil drops down. The bullet of light slices through the air. and impacts into something behind her. Ow. Will that take care of one of them? The girl vanishes. Sybil turns and sees Harry laying face down, holding his hand to his chest. He's not holding his hand to his chest. Harry! He's struggling as hard as he can to reach his hand out to Sybil. Sybil rushes over to him and sits him up. Harry? I thought something was wrong by the time I realized. Too late. Harry, don't talk. Harry's body becomes heavy. Sybil, I'm done for. Please don't you... Please, won't you help Cheryl? That girl from before, that wasn't Cheryl, was it? That was... Harry, hold on, Harry. Harry talks about the girl. Or stops moving. That girl was not Cheryl. Harry then begins coughing, and at the same time vermilion liquid splatters about. Harry, don't talk anymore. Harry is crying. That was not Cheryl at all. His words seemed to have something like a desire embedded somewhere within them. Harry? Harry did not speak or respond again. Sybil, who had been unable to accept the incomprehensible events that had occurred around her up to this point, was unable to believe that the man in front of her was dead. The wind seemed to be blowing outside. Sybil stared at her hands, which had become covered with blood. Instead of trying to wipe them off, she firmly grasped her handgun. Something like a kind of resolution arose in Sybil's stern look. Cheryl, I must find her and then take her home. Just who was that girl? Cheryl? Or was it that woman's daughter? Concerning the incidents that have occurred in the town. No, they cannot be called incidents. But instead... concerning this enigmatic situation, I have not found one piece of conclusive evidence, and that irritates me. And there's uneasiness about the loss of my only partner. She must be frightened somewhere. Cheryl, that eerie figure of the girl. Several feelings of discontent run throughout Sybil's mind. That Dahlia might know something. However, the destination that she indicated is this place. Rather than returning to the church, it would be best to search here. First floor. Creak. Door sways on its hinges as the result of wind blowing from somewhere. This draws Sybil's attention, and she moves towards the door. This door was unmistakably locked and not open just before. Sybil looks in the doorway and at the same time gasps, "Ah!" It's a blinding light. The blinding light falls all over Sybil's body. Sybil lost her ability to see instantly, and had no idea whether her eyes were opened or closed. She doesn't sense any people. The chirping of birds, a nostalgic scent in front of her, an area of flower beds spreads out. It is a scene that she has seen somewhere before. Sybil begins to walk, and then at some point she began to run. Passes through the trees, and once she's climbed a small hill, her field of vision once again expanded. There's a cemetery. Sybil finally remembers this is the place where her grandparents were resting. And then she was young. When she was young, her parents often brought her here. Next to her grandparents' graves, many people in black have gathered. The sobbing of the people dressed in mourning clothes can be heard. Everyone is familiar. Her mother and father. Her 3-year younger sister. What's wrong? Did something happen? None of them answer. The police chief of Brahms, fellow officers, and Sally. Hey, Sally. Who passed away? None of them answer. The sacred ceremony is proceeding without delay. A magnificent casket is brought out by several men, and then it is gently lowered into the hole that was prepared in advance. Sally is whispering to Sybil's mother in a low voice. I told her just think about what might happen. I recommended that she use a car for transportation. When pulling over violators, many accidents have happened. I just cannot believe that this could have happened to her, Sally says, and then falls silent. What? What are you saying? I am right here. Notice me. Sybil tries as hard as she can to try and make someone notice her, but no matter what she does, no one does. Her name has been engraved on the tombstone. Am I dead? Am I dead? Someone tell me. Between the people dressed in black, there's a girl wearing a white one-piece dress, standing on the dark green grass, only half visible. She's just a figure, and only half of her face can be seen, but it is a familiar one. Everything becomes bathed in white. The girl's face sways as if it were floating in the air, and then the girl softly calls Sybil's name. Before long, nothing else appeared in Sybil's eyes. She did. This is one of the... It's so many fucking endings to this. Jesus Christ. I guess you gotta get like all the endings to unlock all of those cards, but I don't even know if you can like unlock every single one of them if you don't have the downloadable bullshit.